Yo, what's going on, panel? Right from the top, Lonzo Ball has said that fans can expect to see him back next year. But before we get into this, Mars, you felt there was a more important topic: Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan.
Anthony Edwards versus the 90s, really. Not Michael Jordan seems to be the only person he stood up for. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, but I think that was a more pressing topic.
Why do you think that topic's so pressing?
Because I mean, we had the whole "we done with the 90s" thing a few months ago. Now I don't remember when it was, but hearing an NBA player, hearing an NBA player, someone with the standing of Ant Edwards, kind of echoing the sentiment of what was a big troll propaganda. I don't want to say it's concerning, but I do think it's ignorant. Especially when he said, "I didn't watch it, so I can't really speak on it."
That makes it even worse.
And then he proceeds to speak on it with just some flagrant ignorance. So yeah, I think it's concerning that, you know, these big NBA guys, top 20 player, whatever you want to call them, can say stuff about the predecessors and where the game was and just be so flatly incorrect on it. I do think that's irresponsible. And I do think that's, and I like Lonzo, but I do think that's a bigger talking point than Lonzo's health, although I am very eager to see Lonzo play basketball, of course.
We'll definitely get to that. First and foremost, Ron, you just going to show up and you ain't going to say nothing? Where you been, yo? What's going on? How you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
What's up, yo? Just gonna walk in the house and just gonna start working. They ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. Gonna say what's up. Hey guys, how y'all been? I ain't been. What's up, yo?
What's good? What's good? How you feeling,
right,
Chill?
what's going on? Hey, Mars, you're a little bit more diplomatic than me. I'm gonna be a little less diplomatic off the strength that I am from that time, and I am really sick of this. I do understand and I respect trolls because I know who they are, but I'm gonna get right to the meat and potatoes of this. Anthony Edwards Drexler would have bust your ass. I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you to your face. Clyde Drexler would have bust your ass. 6'7", run like a deer. Money mid-range game, one-on-one player. Your idea of guys not having skill, what do you talk about? What do you mean when you mean guys don't have skill? Do you mean on the offensive side of the ball? Because your skill level on the offensive side of the ball is pretty deficient, my man. You're not as sharp as people think you are. You are not. Your ability to read defenses is not very good. Your mid-range could use some work. Your long ball could definitely use some work. No question about that. And as far as a transition player, Drexler was just as good, if not better than you. Joe Dumars would have bust your ass. And I'm telling you to your face, Anthony Edwards, a guy like a guy who I'm standing on this. You are just a better athlete than Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond would have gave you hell. I'm not saying that he would have been good. He would have given you hell, sir. When you talking about these older guys, when you're talking about guys from the 90s, when you're talking about guys from the 80s, whatever era it is, what you need to do more than anything is you need to go do your homework on these guys before you start talking. Because even though people were talking about Kobe Bryant because he was an extension of Jordan, you know who else they were talking about? They were talking about Drexler. They were talking about Reggie. They were talking about Reggie Miller. They were talking about Marcelonis. The Manu Ginobili before Manu Ginobili. They were talking about all of these guys. So do yourself a favor, young man. Go do yourself a favor and go watch these guys before you say their skill level wasn't up to snuff. Because I can tell you right now to your face, Clyde Drexler would have bust your ass. I'm sorry, Mars. You're a little bit more diplomatic than I am. And again, I appreciate trolls, and I know how trolls get down, and I do know that they ruffle feathers. I do know that. However, when you're talking about these guys were the standard of that era. And those guys of that era, their games, a lot of them translate to today's game. Reggie Miller's game translates to today's game. Clyde Drexler's game translates to today's game. Not a lot. You can't say that about a lot of guys from different eras where you see guys' games where you go, I don't know if you could have played during this era. I don't know if Mark Eaton could have played in this era. I don't think so. I think Mark Eaton would have struggled, and Mark Eaton was one of the better defensive bigs in his era. I think he would have struggled in this era. There aren't many guys that you can say their games translate, but there are plenty of guys, particularly Mr. Edwards, at your position who could have played in this era. That switching action that you were doing in the playoffs when you were switching on to Jamal Murray right? When you were switching when you were switching on to Jamal Murray, when you were switching on to Devin Booker, I can tell you right now, Fat Lever would have gave you hell switching on to him. He would have given you hell. Of all the guys that I'm thinking about during that time, they would have given you hell. When you're talking about how you close out, your ability to defend one-on-one, how you overrun plays a lot, stuff like that. I think that you need to go do some homework on these guys, my man. That's all I'm asking. Go do some homework on these guys before you talk about these guys like that.
Yo, anyone? Oh, go ahead.
Anthony Edwards made a quote about the whole thing, and we're gonna pull that up in a second. But before we do, because this is about to get real spicy, y'all go grab some popcorn, some breakfast, some lunch, whatever you need, and we'll be right back.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code playerschoice50 at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. Anthony Edwards had some people feel it's valid. Some people feel it's absolutely insane. But this is what he had to say. Anthony said, regarding the people's skill back in the day, he said, I didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. Then he proceeds to speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, you know? You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
So that's why when they saw Kobe Bryant, they were like, oh my God. But now everybody has skill. Mars, do you know the skill that he's alluding to?
It's okay, Mars. You can say it because I know exactly what it's okay, Mars. The skill that he's talking about. You can say it.
No, I think he's talking about, shooting the three. I think is probably a big part of it. Shooting, yeah. I'm assuming it like some of the handling and stuff, like in terms of ball skills and all of those things. I think that's what he's alluding to when he's talking about skill. Now, me saying what I think he's talking about does not mean I agree with him. I just want to clarify because someone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you agree with Ant?" No, I don't agree with him. But I think that's what he's alluding to. And I think my biggest issue is not with what Ant said. It's the fact that it started with him saying, "I didn't watch it, so I can't speak on it," and then he just went and started lying. Like he could have just stayed quiet. If you don't, I'm a big believer in if you don't feel like you are well versed in something or you don't feel like you know something, you can just not talk instead of just talking and then letting everyone know that you don't know what you're talking about. Just leave it open to the imagination. We can imagine that Ant doesn't know what he's talking about, but now he's just left it about. Now we just clearly know there's no interpretation left to be desired. We know he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he could have just stayed quiet. He could have just said absolutely nothing about the situation that he clearly said he doesn't know anything about. Right. But no, he wanted to talk. He was clearly wrong. I mean, I could start talking about Hakeem, Mark Price, Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway. I could go down a list of guys who were extremely skilled in the 90s, and it doesn't change anything that it just makes him wrong. And then I could also point to the fact that all these skills that I'm assuming Ant is alluding to in terms of shooting and handling and all of those things, respectfully, Ant isn't the most skilled player either.
No, he is not.
Respectfully, and I'm not just saying that because Ant has come out against the 90s. I mean, I've had my issues with Ant. I definitely don't think he's on that Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell tier. I think he's below them. But like Anthony Edwards has never shot above 40% in the mid-range. Never in his career, not once. Anthony Edwards only this past year finally got above like 36, 37% from three for the first time ever. Anthony Edwards, despite being this amazing athlete that everyone loves to praise, isn't very good at the rim. Like his touch around the skill, not the athleticism, the skill part, he lacks in terms of touch, in terms of finesse, in terms of like making his layups.
Sure.
He struggles. Like he's a really good athlete, but the skill is where he lags behind compared to a Devin Booker, compared to a Donovan Mitchell. Anthony Edwards, when he drives and gets put in a crowd, loses the ball. Anthony Edwards, when he gets double teamed, can't throw a skip pass. He lacks skills. He's only 22, so I'm not saying he's never going to develop skills. But for him to say that the 90s only had Jordan, and then for him to say everyone now has skills, when he's deficient in a lot of the skills that guys in the 90s had, I think is just ignorant. Like I could go even deeper in the numbers and tell you that this is what Anthony Edwards is doing. But I feel like that would be disingenuous. But like Anthony Edwards struggles a lot with a lot of the things that he does. So there's a reason he's never had an efficient scoring regular season. I could tell you the numbers. He's played 4 seasons. He hasn't been above league average efficiency once. So he's clearly deficient in the skill department, but he wants to act like the 90s was so inferior, but it seems like inferior to the current day too.
I want to hear the numbers though, Mars. I would like for you to do the air attacks. But can we reverse it this time? We always want to take on a chill. We always want to take a guy from the 80s, 90s, 2000s and drag him into this era and say, 100%. What's your efficiency? Now let's talk about what Anthony Edwards would have been in a more physical era.
Yeah.
Well,
with less skill, by the way, not just in a more physical era, with less skill and less efficient. I'm all ears, Mars.
Anthony Edwards in his rookie year was about 21 points per 75, adjusted for error, inflation, all of those things. He was negative 4.5 relative true shooting. So as a rookie, he was about 4.5% below league average efficiency. The next year, it was 22 points on negative 0.6, right. So one below league average efficiency. In 2023, it was 23.5 on negative 1.6, so once again below league average efficiency. And then this past year, his scoring volume went up 27.5, and then he was still below league average efficiency at negative 0.2. For contrast, you look at other guys in similar vein in terms of volume. Jason Tatum's +2, Donovan Mitchell's +1, Devin Booker's +3, Kyrie's +3, KD's +4.5. Like he's been an inefficient player his whole career. And then I could point to the fact that this past year he shot 39% on mid-range jumpers. And then I could also point to the fact that let me just do a real quick search and see what Anthony Edwards was doing at the rim this past season. We've got 23-24. Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was below 60% on his layups. So do with that information what you will. Anthony Edwards has absolutely no floater game to talk of. He's below 45% on floaters. Anthony Edwards on jump shots off the dribble was 35% this year. So, and I'm not saying Anthony Edwards isn't a very good player, but the skill department definitely lacks. I think, and even the biggest Anthony Edwards fans, I think, would have to acknowledge that in terms of skill, he lacks behind some of the best, the most skilled players in the league. So for him to speak so disparagingly of 25, 30 years ago, I think is just disingenuous when he himself has a lot to work on. A lot.
I think, Mars, I think a lot of times when we see guys a lot, we have a tendency to forget who they are because they're dynamic. Anthony Edwards is a prime example of that because he plays above the rim and he'll throw the ball down on a big guy, or he'll make something incredible. He'll make a move that's incredibly dynamic, and we'll forget about all the other stuff. Like, for example, you talked about him in the mid-range. He had a stretch early in the season. It was probably maybe a month or two into the season where he actually shot 47% in the mid-range for like a month or two. This was in the beginning of the season. But that was it. After that, it went the other way. I watch him play pick and roll basketball with Rudy Gobert, and he doesn't know how to read defenses. He doesn't know when to get off the ball. I watch him play pick and roll basketball with Cat. I watch Cat dive to the basketball. I watch Cat dive to the basket. He doesn't know when to get off the ball. He doesn't know when to shoot the ball. He takes a lot of bad shots. He's a great athlete in terms of being at the rim, chase down blocks and things like that. But he can also overrun plays. Not only can he overrun plays, he also fouls. So when you're talking about skill, these things are skills. And you develop these skills by understanding the game, which suggests to me that you're not smart enough yet to get this down, because clearly you're a good athlete, but you're not smart enough yet. And then on top of that, to be able to talk about these guys and say that they haven't had the skill, I think that it would be a lot more beneficial if you said, I wasn't around, but what I heard was these guys weren't as skilled, as opposed to, these guys had no skill. It just sounds a lot better if it came out that way, as opposed to, these guys had no skill. Because I can tell you right now, Anthony, Clyde Drexler would have bust your ass. He would have bust your ass. And there's plenty of guards, especially during that era. Especially during that era, the two-guard era. Latrell Sprewell would have given you hell. Guys like that. And these aren't the elite of the elite guys. These are just two guards. We're not talking about Mark Price. We're not talking about Gary Payton. We're not talking about Kevin Johnson. We're not talking about guys like Scottie Pippen. We're not talking about guys like that who would have shut the door on you. No, we're not talking about those guys. I'm just talking about like Latrell Sprewell, who was just a ball of energy, who you would have had hell to deal with. So I think that it is disingenuous to listen to a guy like Anthony Edwards, who from time to time, when you're young, you have a tendency to say things and look back on them and go, I probably shouldn't have said that. That was a little bit over the top. But it happens, right? It does happen. But I will tell you, if I ever saw him, I'd tell him to his face, yes, Clyde Drexler would have bust your ass, young fella. Yes, he would have.
One thing 100% I do want to acknowledge this right now, because a lot of y'all are saying this is the Anthony Edwards roast session and we cooking it. We just are informing not only Anthony Edwards, but informing the masses too. It is a lot. Anthony Edwards is 23 years old. It's a lot of people in the chat that are 23 or younger who may be on Ant's side. And we're just trying to let you guys know that yes, this is a very good era of basketball. It's a very skilled era of basketball, but basketball didn't start 23 years ago when Anthony Edwards was born. It was ballers before Anthony Edwards. It was ballers in the 90s, the 80s. God forbid I say the 70s. It's been ballers in the game. It's been skilled. And we're also too, first off, I do want to say I think Ant would be a very good player I think Ant's game can translate to a lot of different areas. I think he would be able to adapt and play in the 80s and the 90s. It might look a little clunky at first, but I think he'll get it down. But one thing I do want to also acknowledge is that we're only talking about guard skills right now. You guys got to understand the game was a lot more it was played inside out. So we haven't even got to talking about the actual skills that was in the game in the 90s. We're not talking about dudes who really had post work and footwork on the block. That's where a lot of your skills were found. So it might not have been a bunch of, through the legs and spin moves and splitting screens and stuff like that, but it was guys for sure hitting you with pump fakes, up and unders, spin moves on the block, things like that we don't even see in today's game.
The difficult part about having a conversation like this, right? The difficult part about having a conversation like this is people thinking that, like a guy like me, is I'm stuck in the old times, which that's just not true. It can't be further from the truth. I'm very well versed on what's going on today and the players that are today in Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Devin Booker. And I'm a big fan of these guys today. But to say that, or to completely disrespect the guys who came before you and to not know what's going on with those guys, I mean, it's a disservice to the game, because I can tell you right now, in 20 years, 25 years from now, there's going to be some kid that's 15 years old that's going to say, yo, Anthony Edwards, you played against plumbers. Anthony Edwards, you played against these kind of guys and you weren't very good. So there's going to be guys that's going to say that about you, and you're going to lose your mind because you know exactly who you played against, and you know exactly who you went up against, and you know the skill level of the guys that you went up against. And these people are going to say, yo, you played against plumbers. You played against guys who weren't very good. Just like they're going to do that in 10 years from now. Just so you guys know, what are we in, 2024? 10 years from now, Kobe Bryant will be removed almost 25 years from the NBA. We're going to start to hear that he was playing against plumbers and stuff like that. And we all know that was so not true. And it's important it's important for you guys to continue to let these guys know how good these other guys were before you.
What's going on, Big Ox?
It was good. See you back in effect, huh?
Something like that. Yeah, but those are fire comments out of Anthony Edwards. Ox, you want to comment on this at all?
No.
You have nothing to say?
No.
I do want to ask this though, because once again, I do believe that he's only 23 years old, and I think we all know Ant's going to get better, like without a doubt.
Sure.
Him going through what he went through in the playoffs, him playing with all these guys on the Olympic team.
Yep.
I think everybody also expects him to be even better next year. But I want to ask, do we believe that this version of Ant at any point in the 90s would have been a top 10 player?
This version and the 23-24 Anthony Edwards, is he a top 10 player in the 90s? No. Absolutely not. He wasn't better than Jordan. He wasn't better than Malone. He wasn't better than Drexler. He wasn't better than Dave Robinson. He wasn't better than Olajuwon. He wasn't better than Scottie Pippen. He wasn't better than Barkley. He wasn't better than Gary Payton. Who else am I thinking about? Let's see. Who else am I thinking about? When I think about the 90s.
Was he better than Glenn Rice?
This version of him?
Yeah.
As a bucket getter, no. As a bucket getter, he was not. He wasn't better than Shaq. Let's see.
Who was the top 10 in 1999?
The top 10 players in 1999. Who were the top 10 players in 1999? I think Lonzo Mourning, Shaq, Malone. Let's see. Shaq was the best. I think Duncan. 1999. I got to go back in my memory bank, Mars. Let's see.
I'm just thinking of when Hakeem was past his prime, MJ was done, David Robinson was past his prime.
Olajuwon was. I feel like 99. Olajuwon was over.
So that would be probably when I think he could be top 10. Probably.
You still had Kobe. Was he better than Kobe?
Yeah, that's year 3 Kobe. That's year 3 Brian.
Hey, but
is year 4 Ant better than year 3 Kobe?
I don't think so. I just don't.
Anthony Edwards wasn't better than Grant Hill neither. He wasn't
Jason
better than
Kidd?
Chris Webber neither. He wasn't better than Jason Kidd. No.
You're still kind of young, but did you mention Chris Webber? You just mentioned Chris Webber, right?
I just said Chris Webber.
Rasheed Wallace?
In 99?
Yeah.
4 years in. Yeah, I don't know if he was better. I don't know if Rasheed Wallace was there yet.
Okay, I got some other shooting guards. They had gotten a little older. We more so classify them to the 2000s, not necessarily the 90s. But Vince Carter and Ray Allen, he better than those two?
Ray Allen in 99? I don't think Ray Allen was there yet in 99. I think he was getting close. I don't think he was
Vince
there.
Carter?
He wasn't better than Al Iverson. No. In 1999. I don't
Isn't
think
that
so.
rookie Vince?
Yes.
He was an all-star that year, though. I'm not necessarily saying he was better, but just throwing out that he was an all-star. Two guys. Jerry Stackhouse?
Oh my God. Okay. Anthony Edwards is better than Jerry Stackhouse.
I'm just putting names out there. Hey.
Wait. What year Stackhouse we talking about?
99.
I just don't like. I don't like writing Stackhouse off.
I apologize that, but give me Ant.
And here's another guy, Eddie Jones.
Oh yeah, give me Eddie.
He's at Mikal Bridges today, is what I heard.
Yeah, Ant was better than him.
And better than Mikal Bridges. So Eddie Jones is Mikal Bridges.
Ant was better than him.
Hey man,
and Eddie Jones was playing at an all-pro level at that point, but Ant was better than him. Yes,
Eddie Jones
he was.
Yeah, I want to also put it out there. Even though I have my issues with Ant's skill set, I still think he's a really good basketball player. I just think he's not the most skilled player. But I don't
Right.
think being more skilled means you're better. I just want to once again clarify. I think he lacks a lot of skills, but he's very talented, and his athletic gifts make up for where he may lack in the skill department. So I still think he's one of the best players in the league. But I just think skill-wise, he falls quite far behind a lot of the guys in the league today. So yeah.
So with that being said, Mars, is it fair to say that Anthony Edwards doesn't really know how to play basketball yet? Is that fair? Considering.
I think his IQ, I think his basketball IQ is lower than most. Yeah. I think he's playing a lot of instincts and feel, and it's got him pretty far. I mean, he's a very good player, but I think he's playing a lot more of instinct than he is just understanding of the game. But I think, and I looked it up, Anthony Edwards this year shot 41% on all 2-pointers outside of 5 feet. So anything that would probably require some skill. Not great. So I think, and also just decision making. He himself has said he can't throw lobs. That's a skill. That's his own admission. He can't throw a lob.
How can you not throw a lob and you ain't going into year 5 in pros?
I don't know, but that's his own admission. So by his own admission, he lacks what I would consider a fundamental skill,
right? Being
able to throw a lob. But
that's part of my job as the two guard.
I feel like he's still figuring things out. And I don't want to. I feel like I kind of went a bit down the path of just saying Anthony Edwards isn't that good, and kind of got away from his point. No, that's not what we're saying. No, kind of got away from his point of just saying the 90s wasn't very skilled. I think he was wrong in saying that, and him saying everyone in today's game is skilled is kind of why I went to where Anthony Edwards lacks. Because if everyone in today's game is skilled, but he seems to be lacking all of these skills, how is everyone skilled if it seems like he's not that skilled?
And he's one of the better players, by the way. And he's one of the better players in the game who also is lacking. Because like I said in the beginning of this, I mean, he is deficient in a lot of his skills. So if everybody in the league is skilled and you're one of the more deficient guys in terms of skill set, what does that say about the rest of the league? That's
all I was trying to get at. I wasn't just trying to like break down Ant's whole career and say he's a bum. No. I think he lacks a lot of skills too. So for him to speak on an area that he said he doesn't know about and then say the only one person was skilled, I think is disingenuous. Mm-hmm. And I don't like doing the thing where, because I hate like when Tracy McGrady said Steph wasn't top 10 or something, and everyone was like, T-Mac never won in his career. Who is he to talk? Like, we're fans. Who are we to talk on these guys if an NBA Hall of Famer can't talk because he never won a championship? But yeah, we feel comfortable to talk on them. Like, I want to stay away from that. But I do think Ant should probably look in the mirror in some regards, in terms of if he's going to say one person was skilled when he lacks himself a lot of skills, I think, and then he's going to say the whole league today is skilled, when I think comparatively to 90s guys, he's probably less skilled than a lot of those guys too. So that's why I was getting at that. I wasn't just trying to come at Ant's credibility. I'm just trying to say that he should probably not say the whole league today is skilled when he himself lacks quite a lot of skills. That's all I was trying to get at.
Ox, you didn't know you didn't know he said that, huh, Ox?
No, I heard.
I do want to say on the bright side, Ant, and this kind of echoes what I said earlier, but this also answers my answer to the question that you asked, Marsh, Chill. I do think that Ant is pretty far away, but on the bright side, I think he will pick these things up as he goes. He'll become a better playmaker because he'll just get used to. Anthony Edwards is 23 years old and has to read a defense as the number one option every night. You get used to teams throwing 2 or 3 guys at you. You get used to making the right reads, taking the right shots, using the right angles and stuff like that. So once he gets 26, 27, 28, it's going to be no problem for him. He had to play 82 games, including the long playoff runs of doing this. And it gets tougher in the playoffs as well. We all seen that with Ant this last year. So I do think he's going to become a better playmaker. I do think he'll become more skilled in the mid-range, especially because Ant relies on that mid-range shot a lot. Contrary to his skill, Ant's going to get him up. So if he's shooting them, I think that he'll develop his touch. I'm assuming he's practicing them. I don't think he just gets into a game and all of a sudden wants to shoot a step back turnaround shot. I'm assuming he's practicing them, so I think he'll get better. And he seems confident in these areas too. It's more so about just executing a little more.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that. I do think we'll see that from him as he matures. But right now, no.
Y'all said Chris Webber too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Well, chat, it's good to see y'all again. Make sure you guys are liking the videos. Like the video if you think I'm an L host. Here we
Probably
go.
gonna-
Let's get them likes up. Let's get them up. Hey, appreciate everybody that's in here. Shout out to all of our members. Shout out to all of our subscribers. And shout out to everybody that's just in here having a good time. Keep the comments running up. Keep the likes running up. PCL usually is on Wednesdays or has been on Wednesdays and Sundays. We will be taking a week break until the playoffs. So I'll get back to you with more info and all of that good stuff on when the next PCL day will be, and that obviously will be day one of the playoffs. So we'll let you guys know who the matchups are. We'll let you guys know the seeding. We'll let you guys know the day, the time, and the place that you need to be there, because it's going to be nothing less than spectacular. Fellas, I've seen a couple things while I was out and gone and whatnot, but is there anything glaring that I missed?
The Dame thing was something that bothered me. Him saying that if LaMarcus Aldridge would have stayed, they would have won at least one championship if he would have stayed in Portland. Now, I looked at the landscape of the Western Conference, which was a nightmare back then. And if you look at LaMarcus Aldridge staying in Portland in 15-16, so are they better than that Oklahoma City team? Because KD is still in Oklahoma City. KD is still in Oklahoma City. If with LaMarcus Aldridge in Portland, I don't think that they're beating that Warriors team, because that Warriors team was just a machine at that time. That Oklahoma City team was right on Oklahoma City's heel. I mean, right on Golden State's heels. Sure, CJ McCullough was turning into the player that I thought he was turning into, and he was becoming really good. I won't argue that at all. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they get out of the Western Conference, right? KD, even though KD stays in Oklahoma City and he doesn't go to the Golden State Warriors. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they get some favorable matchups and they get lucky. Do they beat Cleveland? I don't think they beat Cleveland at all.
Listen,
at all.
No Damian Lillard-led team.
No.
Whatever.
I don't think
in history beat a LeBron-led team.
No.
Unless, no. A Damian Lillard-led team. I was going to say unless he's a second or third option, but that's not a Damian Lillard-led team.
Right.
It's no way Damian's the number one option is eclipsing Braun as the number one option.
Which leads me to when he said about he thinks he's underrated. Well, that goes back to Mars's point when guys say that, or people say that they're underrated. Well, if you think that you're underrated, well, where do you have them rated? So if you think about the league guards in that era, so you got Russ, CP, Dame, Irv, who am I leaving out? John Wall, Steph, Curry, and Rondo. Where does he fall in that pantheon of league guards? I don't think he at any point was ever better than Steph Curry. So I don't even want to have that conversation. I don't ever think he was better than Steph Curry.
Behind Steph, Russ, and Chris Paul.
I don't think he was better than James Harden either. If I'm being honest.
But he's a two guard. But yeah,
okay,
he's not
so
better.
He's a two guard. So now I think there's a conversation with Chris Paul, but I think the defense. I think that because of what Chris Paul does defensively, I don't think that overmatches how much of a better scorer Damian Lillard is to him. So I think that he's a better league guard. I'm taking him ahead of Russ, though. I am taking Damian Lillard over Russ. And the reason why I'm taking Damian Lillard over Russ, I think he's more of a floor leader. I think he's smarter. I think he's a better shooter. I think he's a better decision maker. I think he played at a higher level longer, playing at that all-pro level. Playing at that all-pro level, like Russ did. But I felt like the things that he did were more conducive to winning than what Russ did.
I'm taking Russ, but I got Steph clearly. I got Chris Paul clearly. I got Russ comfortably, and then after that, I got Dame. So anyone else you come up with from that time, the 2010s, I got Dame. I got him over Kyrie. I know some Kyrie fans gonna be mad.
I do too.
I got him over Kai. I got him over John Wall. I got him over Kemba. I got him over Isaiah Thomas. That's where I got him fourth. I'd have the conversation about Russ and Dame. Like I'd have the conversation, but I don't think I would change my mind on it.
Let me ask you this,
Personally.
Mars. What years, in your estimation? So we already know Russ showed up in 2008. I think Russ became elite around 12, 13. I think Dame's years in terms of him being elite, I'm going to say 16 to 20. In your estimation, what years was Russ better than Damian Lillard?
Well, 2015, I think Russ was better. Well, Dame's first 2 years, I'm gonna leave them out, even though Russ was clearly the better player. But Dame was in year 1 and 2.
He was a rook. Yeah, he was a rook.
Sure. So 2015, give me Russ. 2016, give me Russ. 17, Russ. 18, Russ. 19,
18.
Yeah, 18, Russ. 19.
And by the way, 18, that was
19 is where it gets close to me. 19 is where it gets close.
And I think 18, Damian Lillard, I think that was first team all pro Damian Lillard, by the way. In 18.
It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And
that was after he got snubbed from the All-Star game for like 2 straight years. And then that was like the after, because I remember Damian Lillard discourse very vividly. 2016, he made the All-Star team in 15.
Yeah.
Then in 16 and 17, he didn't make it. And everyone was like, Dame's the most underrated player in the league. He's the most underrated. He's the most underrated. Like, every time Dame got brought up, it was Dame is the most underrated player in the NBA. And then 2018 happens, and he makes the first team All NBA. He's an All-Star. He's like top 5 in MVP. And then that series against the Pelicans happens, and everyone does a 180. Dame is overrated. He was never that guy. Dame was never that good.
But then in 19, when he outplays Russ in the playoffs, right?
And then 19 happens. And then Dame plays better than Russ in that series. And then everyone's like, Dame is better than Russ. It's Steph and Dame. They're the 2 best point guards in the league. Steph and Dame.
Yeah.
And then for me personally, I think 19 is where it's like, I can go both ways. I'm fine with Dame or Russ. I'll probably lean towards Dame 19.
Yep.
20, I got Dame clearly. I think 20 is where Dame is clearly the better player.
Yeah.
21, Dame is a better player. 22, he's hurt. But that's Lakers Russ, I think. So
right.
Yeah. And then 23, Dame. 24, Dame. So like the last like 4 or 5 years, I got Dame. Before that, I got Russ. And then I think the best version of Russ is better than the best version of Dame, personally.
That part I could get with. I could get with the best version of him. I'm just thinking about who Russ is as a league guard. I'm thinking about what Russ did in the playoffs. I'm thinking about what Dame did in the playoffs. And I hear a lot of times about how Dame wasn't very good after the first round, which in some instances can be true. Not in all instances, but in some instances can be true. 100% it could be. I saw Dame. Sure, in that Denver series, I think he's a lot better than what you give him credit for. I don't think that he was terrible in that series. The Golden State series in 16, in that second round, I think that he was a lot better. They just were overmatched when they played against Golden State. I actually think he played good in that series when he played against Golden State. With that being said, right? With that being said, when I think about Russ, I think about Russ finishing at the rim. I think he was better than Dame at finishing at the rim. I think Dame was a better shooter than him in every area. I think he was a better mid-range shooter. I think he was a better long ball shooter. I think he was better off the dribble. I don't think that in my estimation,
it's not even close.
Yeah, I don't think that's a conversation. I'll take Russ at the rim, right? I'll take Russ at the rim. I want to take Russ in transition, but I can't, Miles. And the reason why I can't take Russ in transition, because it seems to me, watching Russ, that it was more negative in terms of him and Dame than positive, because even though something good was going to happen with Russ, I felt like something bad could happen. Dame always felt like something good was going to happen when he had the ball in transition, whether he was going to crack a 3 or he was going to get to the rim. Russ was going to throw the ball away, or that could very well happen. So if I had to choose between the two of these league guards during their time, I would go with Russ.
Chill, Dame be throwing the ball away too.
I would go with Dame.
Dame don't just come and make perfect transition decisions.
No, he doesn't. But more than Westbrook though, more than Russ.
I'm almost positive that their assist to turnover ratios are very, very close. And if they're not, I think Russ eclipses Dame.
Yeah, Russ gets more assists, so he can turn the ball over.
He gets more turnovers too, though. But I'm saying, like,
Ron, we can't do that. And the reason why we can't do that is
why not?
The reason why we can't do that is that's the same thing to say, I average more points than you, so I'm a better distributor. I average more points than you, so I'm a better scorer than you. Just because I average more assists than you, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a better distributor than you. It could mean that in some areas, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. And Russ did pass the ball, but I mean, I think Russ had a 5.5, almost a 6 turnover season one year. Can you imagine your
It
league
was-
guard
it
having
About five. It was
that
about 5.5. It was about 5.5. It was.
a 5.5 turn, almost 6 turnovers, right? Almost 6 turnovers, Mars.
He
What are you
also
doing?
had the ball the whole game. So
Right. And
Chill. The point I'm making is you're saying that you believe that Russ is going to it's going to be a bad outcome. And you're just saying
Right.
that outright. Regarding this
not
dismissing
always,
the
not,
fact-
not always,
dismissing-
Ron. Not always.
You kind of put it that way, and I'm saying you're dismissing the fact that at that point he was clearly a top 3 playmaker / passer in the league, and at that point he was probably a top 3 scorer in the league as well.
okay, slow down. But
He was. I mean, all right. Points per game wise. I'm gonna put
okay,
it that
yeah,
way.
I think he led the league in scoring. I think he led the league.
So that's all I'm saying. He
Twice.
led the league in scoring, and he was top 3 in assists. If not, he led the league in assists too. The only
Second.
point I'm
He's
trying to
He
make
was
is
second in the league
the
in
only
assists
point
that
I'm
year.
making is a lot of things positive were coming out of it too. It was either A, him getting a bucket, or B, him getting another bucket for somebody. However the assist looked, he was getting.
When is Damian Lillard's best ever season? It's just single season. When's Dame's best ever single season?
That year he went. It's 2 of them, Mars. For me, it's either that year he went 28-7 or that year he went 30-8. And
I'm thinking the 30-8 season.
The year he
That's
went
the one.
30-8. The year he went 30-8. I think he finished 7th in the league in league MVP votes that year.
2020.
Yeah, he went 30-8 that year, and he finished 7th. I think he had 3 60-point games that year. I think he had a
Bubble MVP, Dame. That's what we're going with.
yeah.
That-
It's either
that's the
that
best version
season.
today.
It's either that season or the year he went 28-7, and I think that was 18. Even though he sucked in the playoffs, but I think that was those are the 2 seasons I'm thinking about.
In 2020, Dame's turnover percentage in transition was 18%.
Mm-hmm.
So 18% of transitions ended with Dame turning the ball over. Russell Westbrook in 2017 was 22%. So
it's around the same.
what's that, about 4% difference in terms of turnovers?
Yeah, it's around the same.
Russell Westbrook had a 64% true shooting in transition. Dame had a 71. I think it's obvious to understand that that's because Dame shoots the 3 a lot better in transition.
Which I was about to get to.
Yeah. So that explains that. And I'm not using this to say who's the better player or whatever, but I'm just bringing the numbers. Dame turned the ball over less often. He was more efficient in transition, but he also had less overall transition possessions by a substantial margin.
Now,
Russ was
Mars,
in transition about 7 times a game. Dame was about 2.5. So a lot more.
Oklahoma City played a little bit faster, which goes back to my original point about Russ finishing at the rim. Because Russ wasn't a stop and pop. Russ was not a stop and pop guard in transition. That wasn't his game. When you seen Russ in transition,
Yeah, he was at that free throw line.
Russ
At the elbow, yeah.
Russ to get to that elbow,
but Russ was getting to the rim more
he was
in transition.
Russ used because a lot of people would say
He could hit
that
that shot at the nail. I won't argue that, I won't argue that, Ron. He could definitely hit that shot at the nail. No question about that. But when you seen Russ in transition, more times than not, Russ was trying to dunk the ball over the big man. Russ was getting to the rim, or Russ was looking for somebody. And a lot of times it wasn't necessarily his fault, because I've seen him drop the ball off to a young Sabonis, and Sabonis fumbled the ball out of bounds. I did see that. You know, that was going on. But Dame, I just felt like in transition, he looked more in control. He looked more aware of what was going on. His stop and pop game, I feel like, was better, especially from the long ball line. That's why I trust him more.
He shot 51% on transition threes that year. Yeah. Russ was 28%. Half of Dame's shots in transition.
Do that, Morris.
half of Dame's shots, 48% of Dame's shots that year in transition with threes. So he was like, it was 50-50. Either he's taking a 2 or he's taking a 3. Russ was a lot. It wasn't the same at all. Russ in transition, 22% of his shots were 3. So it was a large portion from 2. So that would explain the difference in efficiency.
Right.
But Russ was also a ball handler in transition more than Dame was. Dame would fill lanes, run to the 3-point line. Russ was more often than not running the coast to coast 1-man fast break more than Dame was. So there's different levels to it. And then obviously I could factor in the fact that Russ is getting more assists in transition. He had about 10 possessions a game transition where he's either scoring or getting an assist. Dame was at 4. So in terms of volume, Russ is in transition a lot more in terms of him controlling the possession compared to Dame. So I'm still going to say Russ is the better transition player. But Dame was really good in transition. I just think they did it different.
I do want to read this quote so we can get some context on it. And then I also want to play a little bit of the video too.
What?
But it starts off by Jeff Teague asking Dame, The way you can shoot off the dribble, I put you and Steph in a different realm. And then Dame basically replied saying, they act like I don't be doing what I've been doing. This isn't going into my 13th season. So basically he's saying you guys act like I haven't been doing this for 13 years. And then he also goes on to basically say like you guys get bored with consistency.
I agree with that part in terms of boards of consistency. I mean, the media is always looking for the next big thing. Like, we're not going to highlight that's not true. When Ja Morant exploded, it was Ja Morant's the next big thing. He's going to be the next great point guard. Then he had a situation. Just forget about Ja Morant. Now it's Anthony Edwards. He's the next big thing. That's who we're going to push. When Zion was coming into the league, Zion's the next big thing. That's what we're going to put. Like, the league is always looking for the next person to push. That's what they do. So when you're just around consistently year after year, I do think the league can get kind of bored of you. Like 2021, it was Trae Young. Trae Young was the next biggest thing in the NBA. Trae Young was the one they were pushing. Then 2022 happens. Trae Young plays badly in the playoffs. Now no one talks about Trae Young. And then this past season, it was Tyrese Halliburton. That was the one they was pushing. Tyrese Halliburton. He's the floor general, this next great point guard. And then he got hurt, and then everyone just started forgetting about Tyrese Halliburton. Right. And then Anthony Edwards was the next big guard they were put. That's what they do. It's just move on to the next biggest thing. But Dame also benefited from that talk too, because that season that Steph was hurt, 2020, Dame was the one benefiting from that push. It was Dame might be a better shooter than Steph. Dame might be the best point guard in the league. Can Steph shoot from this far? I don't think we've seen Steph do this. Blah blah blah. If Dame was on Golden State, I think he'd have rings too.
That's where the out of sight, out of mind thing comes. Yeah, that was the talk too.
So Dame has benefited from it too, but he's also felt the negative effects of it also. Right. I think, but I think he's also benefited from it. So I see both sides basically.
Yo, Swiper.
What's up, fellas?
Good to have you back up here in that orange shirt again, my man. You
look. First off, I know y'all respect black women, so you're not gonna say nothing about the WNBA. Respect WNBA.
I was complimenting you.
No, facts. That's facts. What's up, Chill?
Hey, in the Seattle Storm just signed Gabby Williams.
They did.
So basically, shout out to Gabby Williams. Shout out to what she did over in the French League, but also what she did on the Olympic stage. And shout out to her coming back to Seattle to help us secure this championship this year. Thank you, Gabby. But Swiper, do you think Dame is overrated or underrated in totality?
Totality, he's. I mean, depends who you're talking to. I think he's overrated in some ways. I think he shouldn't be in top 75. So that way he's overrated. But I think he played in Portland for a long time. So I think he's somewhat underrated. I don't think he was ever a superstar. But if y'all remember, Dame was talked about as a superstar for like a good bit. Like people thought he was a clear number one option on the championship team. So. I mean,
do you think there's 75 players better than Damian Lillard?
I don't.
In NBA history?
I don't.
I think so. I mean,
no.
Well, I also think some of those old heads shouldn't be on the list.
Right. That's what I'm.
Yeah. So if you take them off, does Dame not make it? Like I understand.
I think relative to like Dwight, that's what I'm saying. Like relative to some of the other players that didn't make it, that are like
they're better than Dame, but they're also better than
in his era.
Right.
So I'm saying
if
we're making the list, then if the old heads gotta be on there, and then they're saying new,
they don't have to be on there.
No, they don't.
No, I'm saying they are on there. If they're saying they have,
but if you can remove Dame, remove them.
Yes,
I'm removing them. I'm removing
because Swiper. If somebody has to come off the list, right? If somebody has to come off the list, why does it have to be Damian Lillard? And who is he coming off the list for?
Modern era. I think that's the modern era. I think that's why people are more focused on now.
You don't think he's top 25 of the last 25 years?
No.
25 years? 25 years?
Because the top 50 list was from the top 50. So then the top 75
25 players
the top
better
75
than
was
25 players better than
99
over the last 25
99
the past 25 years.
Well, in order to list, because the top 75 list was made in when? 22?
So it said 97.
Yes.
So 97.
Yeah, so 97 to 22. So ignoring the last like 2 or 3 seasons that Jokic and Luka put.
This actually would be no. I thought he should have made it then. He already had an MVP.
No, Jokic was on my. Jokic was on. I think Jokic was one of the 75 best players to ever play basketball. So I'm fine with that.
Well, that's why it was confusing.
Dame is one of the 25 best.
That's why it was confusing at the time.
I agree, but you don't think Dame is top 25 of the last?
Well, I'm saying we can make that list. I would have to like sit through and think through who's played and since 1997. Because Kobe wasn't on it. Shaq wasn't on it. Duncan wasn't on it.
I think Shaq did make it, even after 5 years. Shaq made it.
After 5 years, he made it?
Yeah, I think Shaq was
on the top 50 he made the 50. That's right.
Shaq was on the top 50 list, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he made the 50, but Jokic didn't make the 75, that doesn't make any sense to me. He was on to play the second MVP. So Shaq's off. Grant Hill. Grant Hill played from. Do you think Grant Hill's sample size was better than Dame's at his peak?
Grant Hill sample size is what? 4 or 5
5? No,
years?
no, it's not. It's not super short. Hold on. Let me see.
From 95 to 2000. That's as far as we going.
Yeah, but like, do you
Grant
think his
Hill made 5 All NBA teams. So
yeah, do you think his
6
5-year
years.
run? Do you think his 5-year run is better than Dame's still?
better than Dame's career?
No, I'm thinking at his peak because we're doing Shaq. Shaq at his peak is what made it. Like at his Orlando.
Oh,
peak.
do I think Grant Hill at his peak is better than Dame?
Yes.
I'm gonna defer to Chuck.
At his peak, when he was at his best, was he better than Damian Lillard? Yes.
So at his peak was basically from year 2 to year, let's say 7. He had
Dame was more efficient. He was a better shooter.
He had 5 top 10 MVP finishes, and then his best year he had 21.4, 1.8 steals, a block, 7.3 assists. Was obviously one of the best wing defenders in the league, and he shot 50% from 2, 30% from 3, and then he played 80 games that season for Detroit in 96, 97.
Right. Grant Hill was a better transition player than Damian Lillard. He was a better finisher than Damian Lillard. Dame was a better shooter than him. I think he was a better one-on-one player than Damian Lillard. He was definitely a better defender. And at his peak,
who's a better passer? I would be willing to say Grant Hill is a better floor general than Dame is.
I'm not mad at that, Swiper.
I'll take Grant Hill as a distributor because I think he was smarter. I think he was smarter as a basketball player. But to get to that point, okay, so I'm going to run this down really quickly, Ron. So Jabbar, Archibald, Nate Archibald, Paul Aronson, Barkley, Rick Barry, Elgin Barry, Dave Bing, Bird, Chamberlain, Cousy, Dave Cowens, Billy Cunningham, DeBusschere, Drex, Doc, Ewing, Walt Frazier, George Gervin, Hal Greer, Havlicek, Elvin Hayes, Magic, Sam Jones, Jordan, Jerry Lucas, Malone, Moses Malone, Pistol Pete, Kevin McHale, George Mikan, Pearl, Lajuan, Shaq, Robert Parrish, Bob Pettit, Scotty, Willis Reed, Oscar Robinson, David Robinson, Bill Russell, Dolph Shays, Bill Sharman, Stockton, Isaiah, Nate Thurman, Wes Unseld, Bill Walton, Jerry West, Lenny Wilkins, James Worthy. That's the top 50. Now we add 25 more guys to that, which is Paul Pierce, Curry, Leonard, Dame, LBJ, Carmelo, Anthony Davis, Russ, Reggie Miller, Duncan, KD, Harden, Garnett, Iverson, Nash, Dirk, CP3, Wade, Giannis, Dennis Rodman, Ray, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Neek, Damian Lillard.
Well, I think that I don't think Dame is not better. Well, this is the thing. That's what gets confusing because Klay Thompson's not on this list. Klay had 3 rings by this. This is going into his 4th ring. So Klay had 3 rings by this point. Going into his 4th ring, he was one of the best 3-point shooters ever. Top 3 for let's say most people by that time already. He had how many all defense teams? 3?
2.
1.
Was it 1 or 2?
Just one. Just
I
one.
know he made it in 18.
19.
I thought he made it in 18 too. I'm sorry. So it was 1.
So 1 all defense team. How many All-Stars did he have?
5.
4. I was going to say 4.
5 All-Stars. Do you think the totality argument should have been there over Dame?
Answer this question.
No, I don't think Klay is better than Dame.
Can we tell a story of the NBA without talking about Klay Thompson?
No,
because you got to talk about the Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
You do have to talk about the Splash Brothers.
Would that be 4 rings in totality that you have to talk about, or 5 rings that you have to talk about?
No, 4.
4 of them.
Well, the one that they lost.
That's
not
the
Raptors
one.
one.
6.
The one he could have won. Yeah.
Well, that one.
Those aren't rings, Ron.
Well, what about Draymond?
Draymond should be there over Klay if we're going to put one of them on.
Yes.
Well, that's what so I think Draymond should be that. I mean, that's depends on what you value. I think Draymond should be there over Dame. If we're doing that, if we're starting to sort top 25 ever, and you're talking about impact on game and like how important they were, Draymond again, it's not the. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. How do you leave like one of the best 10 defenders ever off the list, and then a 4-time NBA champion and defensive player of the year? That's the tough part. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's now if you're just,
did Ben Wallace make the list?
For me, I think.
No, he did not.
Okay.
And Ben Wallace is a better defender than Draymond. A top 10.
And he's a champion.
Yes. And he's a champion also.
He is
So
worse
got 4
offensively.
DPOIs, one championship.
You think he's worse
Two
than
finals
none.
appearances.
you think he's worse than Draymond as a defender? Ben Wallace is.
On offense, not defense.
Oh, on offense. I thought you said on defense. I'm sorry.
No.
On offense.
Y'all just don't respect Klay Thompson enough. Is all.
No, it's not that. No.
Because I think
That's
I think Dame's better than him.
I just, regardless, I just don't feel like y'all respect Klay Thompson enough.
What kind of respect should we be giving Klay Thompson, Big Ox?
And
Orders.
also, it's nobody on this list that Klay should be on there over.
Paul Arizin.
Okay, look, I'll give you that one. And then it might be a few more old heads that you could throw in there. Other than that, like recent guys,
The modern guys.
I'm good with Lenny.
modern
Well, yeah,
guys,
I'm putting Dwight on there before I put Klay.
Yeah, well,
I'm putting
Yeah,
Dwight
why
on there
didn't
before I put
Dwight-
Draymond also.
so this is what I'm saying.
we
Like,
can keep
what is
going.
why
It
did
doesn't just stop
Dwight
at Dwight.
why did Dwight not make it?
Politics, I assume.
They
100%.
factored in winning when it came to Dwight Howard. That's
He
why.
had a
Anthony-
championship.
So, but that's what I'm saying, Chill. How did it not hurt Dame that he didn't win? Hurts Dwight that he didn't win, but then Klay and Dre don't get benefit for winning.
But Anthony Davis, I mean,
Anthony
that's probably the guy that they're looking at over Dwight Howard, right?
That makes no sense, though.
It
Chill.
doesn't. It
Crazy.
doesn't. I know it doesn't. But that's probably the guy. If you think about the big guys, like Duncan's not a question, right?
Oh, well,
Dunk.
of course. But he's
Duncan
not competing against bigs. He's competing against NBA history. It should be all against all. It's a free for all. It's not. Oh, we can't put him there because we've already got AD, so we can't have
Right.
another big. But then
But-
here's Damian Lillard. Like
with
that would be
the-
disingenuous.
But if we have Damian Lillard, but we don't have Kyrie Irving, right? We don't have we got Vince Carter, but we don't have Tracy McGrady. So who are these guys? So who are these guys competing against? They're not just competing
Everyone.
against. They're competing. But I'd like to think that big guys in particular. That's why I think Anthony Davis was put on the crew off the strength that the Lakers won the NBA championship. He wasn't a rotation player. He was the number 2, and that's the only other explanation that I can come up with because
Chill,
there is
that
no
doesn't
reason
make
why
sense.
there is no other reason why Dwight Howard would not go on this list. There is no other reason why.
That's the reason.
Because
The
Dwight
reason
Howard
is
had a 5-year
politics.
stretch. Where
But that's what I'm saying, though, Chill. For me, the reason why Dame and AD, respectively, because a lot of media writers that have input on this stuff, they don't think AD should have made it at all. So I think some of this is if we're penalizing some players for not winning and then disregarding it for others, and then having people with 5-year peaks on there that are making the list, but then Dame is making the list when his 5-year peak isn't better than people like, and even so, I think Dwight should have made it. I thought Joker should have made it. I think Klay had an argument. He was just outside. I know he was like 76 or whatever else it was, like the argument they had. Who are the other people that didn't make it out of this generation that didn't make it on the list?
Tracy McGrady wasn't on.
Tracy McGrady didn't make it.
Vince Carter
Again,
wasn't
was Dame better than Tracy McGrady as Apex? So that's what I'm saying.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Not
how
at
are we measuring this then? Like, why is Dame making it over T-Mac?
It's just the cool kid club. Like if we do our own, like talking about the NBA all 75, we're not going to find any clear logic. We're not going to find any real reasoning.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's about, I like this guy over this guy, or he played with him and this and that. It's a whole lot of BS. You know what I'm saying? If we talk about making our own list, we can have our own criteria and move people around. And if we're gonna do the top set, the best 75 players of all time,
Yeah.
that's different. That's different than what this list is. This list isn't the best 75 players
Facts.
from top to bottom of all time. You know what I mean?
Well,
This list is designed to preserve, you know what I'm saying, the legacy of guys from back in the day. I like that part of the list, but there's a lot of politics, a lot of BS that goes into it. One day we can make our own 75 list, and we'll see.
Wait, but Alex
We'll see
English
if
didn't
Dame
make it
makes-
either. That's another person.
See,
So,
and
chill, what are we doing?
There's something
figure out.
wrong with that. There's something wrong with that.
Alex English is more important to the 80s than Dame Lillard ever was to the 2010s. Ever.
I won't argue that.
So that's what
Why?
I-
Because he
what
led
I'm
the
trying to-
decade in scoring.
Yes.
That's a big
Whole
deal,
decade.
Mars.
He's
That's
the
a
only
big
person.
deal.
Is that the
Only
reason
player-
why?
Yes, sir.
All I did was
Yeah.
ask if that's the
Yeah,
reason
Mars,
why.
to
No,
answer
I'm
your
just saying that's a
answer your
big deal.
question. Mars, to answer your question, yes. Considering
Mars, am I attacking you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting bullied right now.
considering who was around during
Don't
that
judge
time,
me.
Mars. Considering who was around
I
during that
won't judge
time
you, Mars.
and
That's
what
fine.
was going on during that time, yes. Just like I think James Harden, I think him and James led the decade in scoring. Those were the top 2 scorers from 2010 to 2020. So yes, absolutely, it's a big deal.
I want to bring it
That's
back
why he's the
to
only
right now, though. Swipe, I want to bring it back to right now though, because we talking about players from the past and stuff like that. I want to talk about Damian Lillard during this era.
Yeah.
Have we grown bored with his consistency? When Dame comes out next year and averages, so he had one of his lower scoring averages in a while, obviously playing next to Giannis and whatnot. But when he comes out next year and averages anywhere from 25 to 30 and gives us 6-7 assists and is shooting the ball and it's Damian Lillard, are we gonna act like it's nothing?
He just did that though. He literally just did that. He had the injury to his abdomen. Came back the next year and he was like 32-6. Wasn't like third in the league in scoring, and then they shut him down, and then he ends up getting moved to Milwaukee, where he had a down year and he was 25-7.
Well,
so
chill. Also, though, remember, he just had a down year, right?
Right.
He showed us in the playoffs that he could still be Dame. He showed us he could still average 30 a game.
Before last year, he shot 49% from two. The best offensive season of his career the year before last year, he shot 57% from two on the season, while connecting on 37% of his threes at 11 a game. So, are you saying Dame gets back to that level where he's shooting like out of this world good on intense volume?
Maybe not even that level. Maybe not even peak Dame, but what we've grown accustomed to seeing Dame do over the last 5 to 8 years.
Dame is 34.
Just turned 34 years old last month.
I think personally, when I asked Chill what he thought Dame's best year was, he said 2020. Personally, I think it was the year before he got traded. I think that was the best Dame ever was. The team was bad. So, but I think some of it is, I think Dame went through a lot in terms of off the court, in terms of just moving, then going through his stuff in his personal life. I think he spoke about, he also said that he wasn't in shape coming into the season because he didn't want to get hurt working out and then not get moved. So like this season, I don't think was an indicator of Dame's decline. So I think he'll be better next season. But I do think there is some decline in terms of Damian Lillard. I think he's not as quick as he used to be, like at all. I think he's lost a lot of quickness. And that was a big reason of why he was so effective at the rim, because he was so good at just being able to get by guys and then get to the rim and finish or get to the free throw line. Now it's like the defense is more in front of him because he's not getting by as guys as easy as he used to. I've seen him get blocked on like 4-game winners this year because he can't get by anyone. So that's concerning. But I do think Dame is going to be better than whatever he was last year. I don't know what he averaged or whatever, but Dame is going to have a better year than last year. But I don't think you're going to see peak Dame or prime Dame anymore. I think he's just going to find other ways.
I still think I'd almost call Cap, but that's right. He had that abdomen thing. He had the abdomen thing. That's serious stuff. That's serious stuff. Mm-hmm. I do want to say, I'm kind of over it already. It's like I'm just over it. You know, dude's like it's really just simple. He wants us to talk about him like he's Steph. He's not Steph.
He's not Ox. And he wants us to. He does want to. He think he's nice like that.
Him. Yeah,
he does.
He's dope. He's dope, but you're just not Steph Curry. And you're not going to get Steph Curry love. You got to you get love though. Like people love Dame. People show Dame a lot of love. I mean, even I live out here in Portland, and he's a god. Like he's a god. Damian Lillard is a god on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. All up and down the West Coast, Damian Lillard is a god. You know what I'm saying? But you're just not Steph Curry. Like that's all right. That's okay. It's nothing wrong with
that. I don't think anyone's Steph Curry.
Kevin Durant wants to be treated like LeBron James. You're not LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like that's okay. These guys like Paul George want to be treated like Kevin Durant. You're not Kevin Durant. You know, like
Paul Pierce want to be talked about like Dwayne Wade. You're not that nice.
Hold on now. That's where I draw the line right there.
Sorry. He ain't even talking about like he Melo.
Relax, Swiper.
He's not talking about Melo. Melo got way more.
But Paul Pierce was. Don't give me into this because we'll all crash out right now.
Paul Pierce?
Swiper. We don't have to do this right now.
I don't want to see Ox twerk for Paul Pierce. No, Melo's got way more aura. We know that.
W aura.
Damn now aura.
But all right, fellas. In conclusion, I'm gonna go ahead and put this quote up here from Damian Lillard, so you guys can see exactly what he had to say. And if we agree.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my 13th season.
You've been going crazy for a long time.
Still killing.
Nah, you been cold.
Crazy.
It's been a long time, bro.
That's what we want to hear. Go crazy.
Because I told you
It's been a
before.
long time, bro.
For real.
Like, I'm just saying, it's like my time in the league. When I think about like how many people have been very good, like over that time, and then it's been more people very good, then more people very good for a couple years. Like, it ain't been that many people that been here the whole time. Like, since I've been in the league, that just been doing it like over and over and over. But I think people just get bored with consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't loud. But like, shit, I've been doing it that long and winning. Like, it ain't like I've been doing it and I'm playing for a team that just never played in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
the
Portland.
season before last, bro, I averaged almost 33 a game, bro.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to average a dub in the league for a decade, bro.
it's crazy. I've been over
Yeah.
25 for damn near 8-9 years.
What does he want though, Ron?
Recognition for his what's the words? Consistency. Dame right now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th in the NBA active points list. He's 8th. So everyone in the league, he's 8th. Now obviously Bron's 1, KD's 2, Harden is 3. KD's about to hit the 30,000 point club next season. Shout out to KD. Harden's 3, Russ is 4, Steph is 5, DeMar is 6, Chris Paul is 7, Dame is 8, Giannis is 9, and Paul George is 10. There's only 8 players above 20,000 points. Dame is the last one in the league at that threshold. So I think he just wants to be given the respect for scoring that many points and doing it as consistently as he's done it. I mean, I don't think he's saying anything wrong. I mean, he came into the league averaging about 20. It's now 10, 11 years since. He's still averaging 20.
Right.
He came into the league very, very good. Won Rookie of the Year. Now, do I think he deserved it? No. But he won it. And then now, 10 years later, I mean, he's still an all-star. He's probably he might sneak another all-NBA team next year or something. Like, he's been really good for a long time. I think longevity does get understated a lot with players. Just generally speaking, just being good for a long time is difficult.
Isn't he spoken
And Dame's
of
done
like in a similar category to Paul
Like,
George?
But my question though,
No, I think he's held in higher regard than Paul George.
my question is why should he be?
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm serious question. Should he be?
Should he be
Yeah.
spoken in as high a regard as Paul George?
Yeah.
Peak for peak, I think Paul George could be better. Could be. But
that injury is what really threw a monkey wrench in Paul George.
Because
Dame's
Paul George had
100%.
that year top of it.
Dame's 100% put together a better resume than Paul George, though.
100%, Ron?
100%. 100%.
One more time, Ron. What you say?
Dame has put together a better catalog and a better resume and had a better career than Paul George.
Well, because he was
eight-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA. That's it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you All-Star MVPs. Respectfully, I'm just not.
Ah, come on.
All right.
8-time All-Star, 7-time
Bubble MVP?
All-NBA.
Bubble
8-time
MVP?
All-Star, 7-time All-NBA versus 9-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defense, and a Most Improved Player. Oh, and a Rookie of the Year for Dame. My fault, Rookie of the Year. So 8-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA,
that's
Rookie
not
of the
clearly
Year,
better.
Rookie of the Year versus 9-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA, 4 All-Defensive teams, 1 Most Improved Player, and led the league in steals.
That's not clearly better, Ron. That's
Here's what I'm factoring in.
2 conference finals appearances.
3.
Ron
3.
want to talk about Dame sending Paul George home on that 3 ball.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
Well, you can add that in there too.
The moments
as just a little cherry on top. You can put that right on the top of the milkshake. But I want to talk about what Dame is literally talking about. How consistently he's been at the top of the league at scoring. How consistently he's led bad teams to the playoffs. Now, obviously, and this is what I think Dame gets shitted on a lot for, and he doesn't get enough credit for. Those Portland teams were not like that. They weren't. Whether Dame thinks that if LaMarcus Aldridge would have came back, they would have got a ring, they were never that good.
They were like good.
But they lost. Yeah, they
were never in the
seed
elite tier in the league. They
were a 3 seed in 18-19, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, but they were a 3 seed separated by like 2 games.
Paul George, but Dame Dame had LaMarcus. Paul George had David West. Like let's not act like the Portland teams wasn't on tier with those Indiana teams, bro.
Those Indiana teams was better.
Why?
I agree with that, but that's because they were all-time defenses. But offensively, Dame's had more talent, but his teams have just been horrible defensively, and Dame doesn't help that. So you get a bad defender, you probably want to put defenders around him. Portland just never did that, so that doesn't help.
I think Paul.
No one
Paul
expected
George
Portland
was more
to win.
impactful. I think Paul George was more impactful at when at their in their prime years. At their peaks, if you will. I think Paul George was a much more impactful to winning basketball than Damian Lillard. Much more.
What's a better year? Paul George 18-19 year or Dame? Yeah, 18-19 or Dame's 23.
I go Dame.
You think Dame was more impactful than that MVP?
Oh, I just think I think Dame was just a bad player.
That's Paul George's 1 year, and I'm ready to say that was an outlier year. Thank you, Russell Westbrook. Outside of that, he never averaged over 25, ever.
Yeah, but at least he could guard his shadow.
The defense is a big thing. Dame is one of the worst defenders in the last 10 years.
No. The defense isn't a big thing. The defense is a huge thing.
Keep in mind, though. Keep in mind. I'm not arguing them as players.
There we go, Mars. Let's get into it.
I'm not arguing them as players. I'm arguing over whose resume that I think is better. Dame consistently, how we just said
resume.
How we just said, Dame consistently giving you over 20, 25, 26, all of that every year. And we can't talk basketball. Who's been a legit number one and who's been a number two, number three, getting to the playoffs and having stickers and all of that.
Playoff teams, by the way.
Y'all
number one?
I mean,
is Dame a number one today? Ron?
No.
Well, who would be a number one with Giannis?
Some people said going into the year.
Going into that, when that trade was made, I said Dame would be the best offensive player. Now, I was wrong, but that's what I thought was going to happen. But Paul George has gone to the conference finals 3 times as the best player left on his team anyway, because Kawhi went down in 21. But he's went to the conference finals 3 times. And on Indiana, I think everyone would agree he was the best player on the team. And then 21 with the Clippers, he got to the conference finals again without Kawhi, although they only won 2 games without Kawhi to get there, but he still got there. Dame's gone to the conference finals once, and I know you said those Portland teams weren't very good, and I agree with that. I'm not saying Dame should have gone to the conference finals more, but the Blazers did lose series they probably should have won.
Pelicans.
And they lost. So
Pelicans. Like Ron, Pelicans.
There's also that. But now the OKC with Paul George also lost series. Yeah. OKC also lost series, but OKC also lost
Portland
series.
Trailblazers.
They should have won that series.
4-1. So. Who was the favorite in that series?
I think OKC was better. I had OKC winning that series. I lost.
But record-wise, Portland's had a better record. So I'm not saying that's just be all end all, but OKC should have won that series, or you just had them win it.
I thought that I think they were more top heavy. I think the Portland Trailblazers had Dame.
Yes.
OKC had Paul George, top 3 MVP candidate at that time, who at that time a lot of people believed he was better than Dame.
Okay.
It was
with a shoulder injury. Paul George with a shoulder injury.
Dame was considered a consensus top 10 player of 2018-19.
Paul George was considered a consensus top 10 too.
Yeah. And Russell Westbrook was considered a top 10 or 5 consensus player in the league at that moment in time too.
Top 10. Yeah, top 5.
All right, either way it goes. They had 2 top 10 players.
But Paul George also had a shoulder injury going into that postseason, which is well documented. He was missing time to close the season. He spoke about the fact that he had to get shots just to be able to lift his arms and play. So they didn't just lose because Paul George wasn't that guy. They lost because of a multitude of things. Paul George not playing his best is one of them, and Dame playing great is also another one. But it's not just, they had Dame and Paul George couldn't get it done against Dame. I think it's more complex than that. Plus, but shout out to Portland for winning that series and then going to the conference final.
Dame's best team at their apex, it was Dame, Aldridge, Aminu.
What team are you talking about?
CJ.
15?
No, they had them in 18-19. Mo Harkless and Aminu.
LaMarcus wasn't there. LaMarcus was longer.
Not LaMarcus.
McCollum.
Did you just mention
McCollum,
Aldridge,
Nurkic,
Aminu, and Mo Harkless?
Okay, respect Alfred.
No.
What do you mean?
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You not respecting Al-Farouq?
No, because Ron used to ride with Al-Farouq.
I like Al-Farouq. I'm just not about to bring Al-Farouq up when we're talking
about.
They were
good wing defenders at that time. I don't know what are you
Aminu?
talking about.
Are you being serious?
Al-Farouq could guard?
Julian Strother. I'm not gonna let you do this again with Al-Farouq.
So Al-Farouq couldn't guard.
What?
Yeah, I feel
I
you
didn't
want to
think
call
Carl
Aldridge
was
part.
there.
I feel on that part.
Was Al-Farouq couldn't guard, Ron?
No, Al-Farouq could guard. But
What about Mo Harkless? What about Mo Harkless?
No, Mars.
He could.
Let's talk about because Mars, you love this hill, and you've tried to cook me on this hill, and maybe been
What, the
successful.
fake spacing?
Exactly. Let's talk about when he brings it
offensively,
off
I'm not moved. Offensively, I'm not moved. But the thing with Dame, and this is the thing when you have to consider when you build around the Damian Lillard type, especially when you have two of them in the backcourt for some reason. Terrible GM. When you have a defender like Damian Lillard, a defender like a Trae Young, a defender like a Tyrese Halliburton, you have to put defenders around them. You have to. So them not having the best talent in terms of offense. Yeah, the league was flawed at a time where if you had a wing defender who could also provide competent offense, you're gonna have to pay a lot for them. So Portland had to get defenders because Dame was that bad defensively. CJ was that bad defensively. They had Ennis Freedom coming off their bench, that bad defensively. They needed defenders. So unfortunately, they had to sacrifice some offense on the wings because they needed to play Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu because their guards couldn't guard anything. That directly comes from Dame's.
And Alan Crabb was that. Alan Crabb was
understand that point.
Nah, Alan Crabb was.
No, I'm saying before that.
Yeah, Alan Crabb was there before.
They never had a defensive guard next to them.
I understand that
Gary
point,
Trent,
but that is just a poor roster construction. No matter how you slice it, that doesn't.
They made the Western Conference Finals though.
They had
so
some
like
favorable.
you're saying that, but I get what you're saying. But also because I'm not gonna let you do this again. Dame sucked, was terrible in Game 7, got carried by CJ McCollum, but now he doesn't have no help. That's not how that works. Dame has not performed up to expectation past the first round in his career. Is that not true or not, Ron?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
He's had some playoff sneakers.
Dame outside the first round has one series above average efficiency. One. It was that series against the Warriors in 2016. He was plus 2%. Every other series in his career outside the first round has been negative efficiency. -3, -3, -0.2. So do with that what you will. And the volume in terms of scoring has been abysmal in all series except that 2016 one against the Warriors. He's just statistically, it hasn't matched up to what he's done in previous series, statistically. But there's also more context to that than just the raw numbers, small sample sizes, defensive attention, being hurt. Like there's a lot of things, but Dame statistically just.
And he also is like legit cone, bro. Like a legit.
Yeah, and defensively, his shortcomings become a much.
I won't even argue that. That part I won't even argue. No.
My thing
no argument out of that.
Do you think it's any coincidence that the Bucks defense got worse with Dame this year, Ron?
Well, they lost Drew. They lost Drew and got Dame, and Brook Lopez fell off a cliff. There's a lot of things.
I'm saying, like, do you think even this next year, do you expect them to with this roster to
no,
like
no?
Okay, so
I don't think they'll be a very good defense. I think they'll be better, but I don't think
I think they'll improve. But Swiper, I'm not arguing the fact that Dame is a good defender or anything like that.
He's horrible, right? You think he's horrible?
He's not a good defender.
What's worse than horrible, Mars? Let's go with that.
Abysmal, egregious.
Okay, hold on.
Finals defense is like the floor, right? So Dame is not that, but he's not much.
That's what I was about to ask, Ox. Is he in the same?
Dame is a worse defender than Luka.
You think he's worse than him?
Hurt finals Luka. I don't think he's that bad.
Oh, finals Luka. Oh.
Yeah, he's not that.
I don't know if he's. You think he's worse than Trae Young?
No, he might be. I'm not gonna lie. He might be a worse defender than finals.
No, Dame at least has some size to like try at times.
Luka's bigger than
I'm saying like he's like at least got some like he's sturdy a little bit. He can try to get around.
Luka's sturdy.
Luka's sturdy.
He's Trey. He said Trae Young.
Oh, Trae Young.
Oh.
Trey has nothing. He just is small and short. Like he doesn't have any. He can't do anything.
Trey this past season, I think
he can rip Steph when it matters most. That's his biggest defensive highlight of his career.
But yeah, Dame is one of the worst guard. I've been saying this a long time since I've been on this platform. Dame is the worst point guard defender in the last like 10, 15 years, in my opinion, other than like Isaiah Thomas and like Trae Young. Dame's like in that bottom third. He's bad. I don't know. I remember on this platform, people said Dame was a better defender than Steph. So I've been trying to correct that narrative. So yeah, he's bad on defense, very very bad. But teams also haven't helped him in terms of until the Bucks. The Bucks had Giannis.
Forgot about Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic did so 21 Nurkic.
Yeah, that's why I said Ennis Freedom is having to play because
and Zach Collins
and
Nurkic was nice. Nurkic was nice in Portland. I know people don't care much.
No,
for
Nurkic was nice.
He was good. He was good. He just got hurt.
Yeah, either way it goes, I don't think Dame ever had a solid team in Portland.
A solid team? You can't say that.
A solid championship contender. A solid championship.
Yeah, he never had a championship contender. He never had a championship.
That's all I'm saying. That's all.
That's fine. That's fine.
Does he have one now?
Yeah, on paper. Yeah, they are championship contender. Yeah.
Why? Because he got Giannis?
Yes. In fact, yes. That's why.
No, right? That's not how it works. Because Giannis. Oh, there's Chris Middleton's over there. No, but still. Hold on. Because Giannis already. Because
you so ready to hate you for
with DeLon, right? Chill.
What I'm saying, Ron, is this.
Dorian Prince.
Giannis had Giannis. It wasn't enough. You know?
Oh, we doing a KG was KG's teammate thing right now? Is that what we're doing?
Well, no, but basically what I'm saying is like Giannis wasn't enough for Giannis. He had to go get Drew. Dame is not Drew.
No, Eric Bledsoe wasn't enough, so they got Drew. And then Drew was being put in a role that wasn't good for him, so they got Dame.
So Mars, what I'm saying is Giannis by itself, Giannis just being Giannis isn't enough to win a championship. So Dame having Giannis isn't gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? They gotta have a squad, right? You gotta have a team to win a championship. Winning a championship is serious business. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be like, oh, I got Giannis, let's win. Nah, you gotta have parts. You gotta have
but they're contenders. They're not in the Celtics. The Celtics, for me personally, the Celtics and like OKC are like the two biggest. Like they're the two favorites for me personally. And then you've got the Nuggets, the Wolves,
the Knicks,
Dallas, the Knicks. They're in like that second bubble, and then you've got the Sixers, the Bucks.
Below. So you're saying the Sixers below Sixers, Bucks in third tier?
Yeah, I put them in.
I think the Sixers are ahead of the Bucks.
I do as well.
You can be ahead of someone within the same tier.
No, I don't think.
But if you think they're in different tiers, I can understand that. But I'm sorry.
So from a basketball standpoint, do you really think Boston is that much better than like if everybody's healthy, that much better than the Knicks and 76ers? Everybody's on the court.
I don't think you know how much better I think the Celtics are than the rest of the league. The only reason I think they lose is if they get hurt, and they were hurt last postseason and they still won. Like them having Porzingis next season for a full postseason, that's basically a free agent signing. Like they basically just bolstered the team. They won a championship without him. They're going to add him next year if he's healthy. Their team is better.
Didn't he play 3 games in the playoffs? That's it? Something like that?
3, 4, something like that of 19. Like them adding that's a whole new addition. When they added Porzingis at the time, I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Porzingis is perfect for them. Then he doesn't play and they still win and they destroy everyone. It's like, oh, the run wasn't good.
I need everybody to be healthy so bad coming in the playoffs. It's not going to happen, but I just need
it never does. But if Boston are healthy, I think they don't walk to a title because I think there's matchup issues.
Yeah, that's tripping. That's true. I do believe matchup issues, but the Knicks win. I do believe the Knicks and 76ers. Again, I know that I'm banking on Embiid, whatever. I think those are the two teams I think can push them to 7.
Because of matchups, yeah, I think so. Yes. I'm not saying Boston walk to a title, but I do have them as my overwhelming favorite out the East. Like overwhelming. I think they could lose. They could lose to the Sixers because if Embiid gets over the Horford hump, or Horford regresses and Embiid is fully healthy.
There's no way Horford is going to do that again. There's no way.
He's been doing it, Mars. He's 80 years old. He's been doing it though. It's not like
80.
He could be, and he'll be 81.
That's something. If Horford regresses, Embiid is fully healthy, Maxey takes another slight leap in terms of his self-creation and playing in the mid-range. Paul George is a very, very good third option. Very good, nice complementary piece, space the floor, can attack closeout. If Paul George is that, and then I like the piece.
That's the biggest.
Healthy. And they've added nice pieces. Caleb Martin. I like Drummond off the bench just to.
Yabusele plays in that series maybe a little bit, a little rough and tough.
Possibly, but I like what they've added. And Nick Nurse is a very good coach. I like that. I think they can compete, but I would favor Boston in the series. That doesn't mean I think there's no way Boston
favorite. That means nobody's getting past 6 games though.
No, overwhelming favorite just means I'm picking them in every series.
No,
I don't think that they're.
For me, that's how when I say overwhelming favorite, that's what I think about. I'm just picking them in every series. Doesn't mean I don't think they can lose. I think Boston can lose a series in terms of matchups. It's the Sixers. I think the Nuggets could be a tough matchup. OKC could be a tough matchup depending on how guys over there develop. the Knicks are a tough matchup, but I would pick them in all of those series for the help.
Who?
That's what I mean by that.
Go ahead, Chill. What were you going to
I
say?
don't think they're in a 7-game dogfight with anybody in the Eastern Conference. I don't.
If they're healthy,
Line up everybody being healthy. I don't think
you're a Julius Randle guy. So you're
and I am. But
the
difference with the New York Knicks is shooting the long ball consistently. That's the difference. And
they got shooters.
The difference with the New York Knicks is 1, shooting the long ball, and 2, making the Celtics play the way they play. Because if the Celtics make the Knicks play the way that they play, they smoke them. I don't think that they beat them. They absolutely smoke them.
Do you think they have the size around the team, like around the edges outside of Brunson to deal with the Celtics?
No.
Let's say Mikal 6'7", OG 6'7", Josh Hart 6'5". Right, but he's like bigger than 6'5".
So with Mikal being 6'7", Jason Tatum is 6'9", with OG being 6'7", Jaylen Brown is 6'6". Then you got your lead guard.
I don't know, but OG's big though, bro.
He's like 6'6", like 2. No, he's not a small.
Yeah, he's
like
a big
6'6".
dude, bro. Yeah,
he's like 230, something like that. But with that also being said, you still got an issue at your 5 spot. That's another problem. So you got Mitchell Robinson getting dragged into the deep water and getting drowned. Like,
do you think Mitchell can switch versus everybody on the Celtics?
No, I don't.
Enough
is the problem.
Right.
I think he can get switched on from time to time, but I don't think that enough.
Who do you think outright blowing by Mitchell, like on a drive?
Which Mitchell are we talking about right now?
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah,
if he's healthy. I'm saying like Mitch obviously has to have his knees intact, you know.
Well, if he gets switched on to Jalen and Jason, he's getting tortured.
That's and not just them. I also think Porzingis too. I think Porzingis gets by him. I don't think Porzingis. I don't on the perimeter. I don't think Porzingis has a problem with him.
But see, chill. That's why I say coach can coach. Knicks can go small. Knicks can go small with them.
Julius, I mean, but this I'm with Chill. This is where I'm with Chill.
That's when Josh Hartman's come into play.
And I think that's playing right into the Celtics' hands when you go small.
I think that's playing in both teams' hands. I just love this matchup all the way around. But the thing about the Celtics and the thing about the Knicks, the things about everybody else with the Celtics, you got to remember this. Best case scenario for everybody is Jason Tatum runs into Jimmy Butler first round. Boom, we're good.
He's saying a healthy Heat team.
They still beat them. Yep, they beat them too.
I think also saying a healthy Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I still think they beat them too.
Well, I'll say this: if Jimmy, this probably won't happen. But if you're telling me I get 23 Jimmy, then no, yeah, that's a series for sure. But that's the difference. So I don't know if we're gonna get 23 Jimmy. That's the problem. I think the issue with the Knicks is, and I fully agree with you, Chill, not on the pull-up transition mid-range stuff, but Julius Randle, he has to be viable in that series, Chill.
He can't be a negative. He can't.
But if you're telling me you can't do nothing, like I need you at least to rebound and switch, because that by itself is worth gold in that series.
Julius Randle can switch 100%. Now we were talking about Mitchell Robinson. We weren't talking about Julius Randle. Julius Randle can switch and he can guard on the perimeter, so he can guard.
I think the Knicks have enough rebounders. If it's Randle plus Josh Hart plus OG plus Mikal plus Brunson or DiVincenzo or one of them.
Well, think about the Knicks. Think about the Celtics offense and how the ball moves and how they do specifically hunt mismatches. So if they're hunting Mitchell Robinson on the perimeter, what that's doing now is that's taking away from the glass, because now guys like Jason Tatum, guys like Jaylen Brown are getting to the rim. So if you hunting Julius Randle, that's also taken away from the glass, because now Porzingis, now Jason Tatum, all of these guys are going to the glass, and that leaves Julius Randle on the wing with these guys. Now, if you play zone, which is, I mean, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the Knicks making the Celtics play the way that they play. They want to play slower. They want to grind it, right? They want to be more of a defensive-oriented team. They want the game in the 80s and the 90s. They don't want the game in the 120s, 130s. They don't want the game in the 110s and 115s, because offensively, just from a shooting standpoint alone, I don't think that they have the firepower, just from a shooting standpoint alone, consistently to beat the Boston Celtics. But if the Knicks can get the Celtics to play the way that they play, where we slow the game down, we make the game ugly, we make the game a little dirtier, I think that they got a shot.
Well, I think that's the key to what are you going to say, Ron? Sorry.
Nah, go ahead. Make your final point.
Look, I know this is I'm repeating it. I sound like a victim. So I chill yesterday. But Embiid,
victim shit
if he's
I'm
healthy,
sitting here listening to you talk to me about Julius Randle being unplayable. I'm sitting
He
here listening
was.
to you
He literally
talking
been
to me
unplayable.
about the best player on a championship team being not viable. I'm listening to this. And
I
I'm
didn't say he
losing my
wasn't
mind.
viable. I never
He's
said
not-
that. You just don't like that I said he wasn't
I'm
good.
sitting here listening to you talk to me about the best player on a championship team not being an elite scorer. And I'm losing my mind when I'm hearing this. And
But
it's based solely on the numbers.
But
which,
he's not
by
an
the
elite
way,
scorer
makes
relative
me
to the other
nuts.
people in the league.
It makes me nuts because 1 minute I got to listen to you dudes talk to me about watch the game, don't look at the box scores. But then I got to turn around and see you guys show me numbers and look at the box score. And then I got to turn around and listen to you guys tell me that, yo, you need to watch this dude play more. And then I got to turn around and listen to you guys tell me, well, he's not very good in this particular place. And he's not very good in this particular place. You dudes are taking years off my life. I swear you are.
I have a question, Chill. Are you ready to answer? I don't want to, if you're still crashing out.
Swiper was hell for a substitute teacher.
No, I wasn't. I was the kid that did everything right. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna front like I wasn't. Like I didn't want distractions and all that stuff. I didn't literally. I was like everything with me is routine. Still to this day, this is the whole thing.
So what changed, Swiper?
If me and Chill, no, this is me. Just I'm with my dudes. But if me and Chill were out in business, I'm. I don't mess around.
No, Swiper the one making sure I go to class.
That's that. No, literally. Like if you was my teammate. Literally,
Swipe is the one making sure that I'm in class.
That's why me and Ron would have had issues. Me and I
but,
would have been fine.
but he's also the one
Ron
that's struggling. But he's also the one that's struggling in an English class. Swipe is the one who he'll point me in the direction of a tutor. He'll point me in the direction. That's who Swipe
resources.
is. Yes.
Resources. No, I graduated. I got 3 bachelor's degrees and 4 years playing football. I'm on it. I don't play no games. Now listen, chill. Can you name me how many elite scorers do you think there are in the league? How many
elite scorers there are in the league?
How you would qualify elite? Because if you think Jason Tatum is in the elite category, do you think there's like 12 elite scorers in the league?
Probably more than that.
That's what I was thinking. I think DeMar DeRozan. I think the people don't give him credit. I think DeMar DeRozan is an elite scorer. I do.
Well, what? So how do you separate? So is there like another category ahead of elite? Like that's like the unstoppable category,
right?
Like the Luka Doncic tier.
So the Luka, Kevin Durant, Embiid, Giannis.
Yeah.
Like, is that like your?
That's at the top. That now DeMar DeRozan is not in that category, but that doesn't mean that he's not an elite scorer. He's not as good as these guys though. It's like first, second, and third team All NBA. It's like that. Like you could be third team All NBA, but not be as good as the dude as first team All NBA. You could be second team and not be as good as the dude on third on first team.
Is Tatum let's say at this point, is Tatum a better scorer than Steph Curry?
At this point, no, I don't think so. Not.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Steph was like fell off a little bit last year, and people were like looking at him.
But he still was elite though, because that one thing that he does that's elite. I don't think that. I don't.
But
think
he was still better. That. Like he was still like Steph. I think Steph last year like. I don't know, True. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you think there's that many elite scorers in the league, then I think that could be it. That could be the separator between us right there. I just don't think so. Like Steph at last year averaged 26 on 61.6, which is like a plus 4 relative true shooting or whatever. So it just depends.
I don't want to turn this into a Jason Tatum conversation. I don't want to do that. What I do want to do though is I want to make sure that I'm clear on where the Celtics and the Knicks are, and I feel like the Knicks have a chance to beat the Celtics if they make the Celtics play the way they play. If you get into the kind of game that the Celtics play, I think they smoke the Knicks. I don't think they beat them. I think they smoked them.
Who's
they're way better.
Team you think now?
Who do I think is a better 3-point shooter
between the two? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think
I still think that
volume?
even with adding Mikal Bridges, I still think that the Celtics are a better long ball shooting team. I think they're a better shooting team overall. Even with them adding Mikal Bridges, I think they're a better shooting team.
I do think though, Chill, like when I was talking about earlier, like I know you said it's playing into their hand, but I do think Julius Randle is a mismatch for the Celtics. Like Al Horford, because like if we were talking 3 years ago, they'd be like, well, we got Al Horford, it's okay. But Al Horford can't do nothing with Julius Randle no more. I don't think Kristaps can do anything with Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Right. I do think that there is how I talked about. I think Julius has to maybe take some less shots this year. Right. Focus more on rebounding, defending guys like Giannis, getting, just being physical with those type of guys.
Sure.
I think that's more so his role this year in being the elite scorer of the second unit, maybe playing some small ball 5, back up big. I think that's what Julius can really be. That could be his goal right there. That's how they can really be a good team this year. But particularly against the Celtics, I think it's kind of time to revert back to we're playing through Julius. Like Julius is getting downhill, attacking Kristaps' chest, and going to work. And when they switch JT on him, if that happens, if JB, you bullied him. There's no once that happens, we're clearing that side out on the island and you eat. Like that's where we go. We go back to that. Like we're moving the ball, Julius, until we play the Celtics. When we play the Celtics, Julius, you're shooting 22 shots. You know what I'm saying? You're going after JT. We're trying to get those mismatches, and you're just terrorizing Kristaps. I don't think Kristaps can guard Julius Randle.
I think Brunson in that series could go for 30 plus though, Chill.
I was just about literally was just about to bring that up. I watched Jalen Brunson put 44 on Drew Holiday, cut his ass in Madison Square Garden. Yes, he did. So with that being said, I would not take Jalen Brunson out of this equation because I think that to your point, Ox, he makes Julius Randle, especially in this series, even better because when he's going after a guy like Drew Holiday, the Celtics are not going to leave Drew Holiday one-on-one if Brunson gets going. He's not going to leave him one-on-one with him. They're going to make adjustments. Derek White's going to go switch on to him. Not only is Derek White going to, Jason Tatum could switch on to him. So now when you get that, we're also getting mismatches with Julius Randle, which he has to take advantage of that also. So I think that it's a combination of things when it comes to the Celtics and the Knicks. But I think the biggest thing is you cannot let those guys make you play the way they do because if they do, I think they smoke y'all.
Fellas, I got to step in. That was an amazing conversation. We've had a good show so far, which leads me to believe that if you haven't liked the video yet, your hands are just broken or something.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's the problem?
But shout out to all the 1,100 people in here. Salute to you guys. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments. Shout out more specifically to everybody that has subscribed to Player's Choice on YouTube and that follows us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that other good stuff. Shout out to you. And most importantly, shout out to our members. But in specifically, I mean, I do want to give love to the All-Stars. I do want to give love to the rookies. I do want to give love to the All-Stars. But the Hall of Famers, I definitely got to shout y'all out. Dorian Clayton, Cobra Son of Raditz, Multi Kenny, Kendall Daniels. Shout out to my man Kendall Daniels. Jerry Allity. He's back as a Hall of Famer. Shout out to Jerry Allity. And also, we have a new guy or girl that has made it. We won't know until you pop up for Hall of Fame Fridays. Arch. But Arch, we're looking forward to seeing you soon. When you want to come up any Friday, find a way to hit me up, whether it's on Telegram, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's through any of the Players' Choice accounts. Reach out, Arch. We want to get you up here as a Hall of Famer. We got to see why you're a Hall of Famer. All of our Hall of Famers are special in some way, shape, or form. But Arch, we got to see about you, my man. We will have a Hall of Famer up here this Friday. Arch, hopefully we get you up here sooner than later. Big shout out to you. Yes, you're right, Cheerio. Dub chat. All right. Speaking of Dub chat, we have super chats. Let's go ahead and do it. MP13 said, I need Chill to see Dame's percentages in every series that's not the first round. I don't think he's had a single efficient series outside the first round while being a negative defender every series.
Maybe that's true.
Oh, no. 2016 round 2 +2 relative true shooting. That's a series in which he shot about 40% from 3. So it really saved his efficiency because if I remember correctly, his field goal percentage in that series was 36%. But because he shot 43% from 3, it really helped him. And he shot 93% from the line.
I was about to ask you, Mars, what was he looking at the strike? Because that's where the true shooting comes in.
In a 5-game series, he shot 9 free throws a game, made over 8 of them every game. So 8 points from the free throw line. He made 5 threes a game. So you've got 15 points from threes, 8 points from the free throw line. That's 28 points. He made, what's that?
24, 23 actually. 8,
yeah,
8 so 15
and he made
points from the strike.
And he made, I think, what's that? 7 twos a game, I think. So he averaged 32 a game in that series. But he shot very, very badly from 2. But true shooting accounts for the fact that he shot threes and a lot of free throws. So
Yeah.
+2 relative true shooting. Also going up against an elite defense in the Warriors did help because it's relative to the opponent's defense. So his 54% true shooting, although that's not elite, because the Warriors defense was so good, is viewed as a better scoring series than it would be against, like if he went up against.
Isn't that what didn't Luka do that versus the Wolves? He shot below 40% from 2, but then 44% from 3.
I don't know.
Are we saying that the Timberwolves did a good job on Luka?
Well, no, he bombed. Remember, he was shooting 10 threes a game, made 44% of them. That was the difference. But I think
they didn't do a good job on it.
Inefficient for the most part, if I remember correctly. But I could be misremembering.
Right.
He shot 30 of what's that? 30 of 59. So he was about 40-some%. He was good from 2.
30 of 59. That's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's over 50%. Yeah, it's over.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, so Luka scored that ball, man.
Also, what I didn't do was shout out www.playerschoice.com. You haven't been there, go there and take it like. But make sure you take it. Also, too, y'all see the title of the show. Lonzo Ball is finally back. I'm gonna read a couple more super chats, and we are going to get into why this is the title of the show. We talked about all these East contenders. Maybe the Chicago Bulls might be one. Just maybe, Mars. I don't know. There's some people out there that believe this. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to see what the Bulls are going to look like with Lonzo Ball, and also what Lonzo Ball looked like last night while he actually was on the court. We'll see that in a second. But as of right now, Julius Ervin has sent through a super chat, and he said, why we act like Braun was some unbeatable foe as if he's never been beat, ? Cut it out with the logic. KD saved the Warriors like they didn't have him down 3-1 before Dre was suspended and injuries to Iggy and Bogut.
Didn't they come back and win that series?
He won. I don't know how.
Yeah, didn't they come back and win that series? What are you talking about?
He won. And then when he was
saying that the Cavs weren't unbeatable. That's what he's saying.
Right.
What team wasn't like that? How many teams in NBA history have been unbeatable besides the KD?
Okay, now we're being hyperbolic. His point is everyone's like, oh, they needed KD to get past the Cavs. He's saying without KD, they were one game away from doing it anyway.
But they didn't do it. That's the point.
Wait. And then everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Right.
Bogut goes down. Iguodala's dealing with his back spasms or whatever he's got going on. Draymond gets suspended. Steph ends up fouling out of a game. Steph's dealing with his knee problems and everything he's got going on.
Right.
Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Sure.
And they ended up losing in a one-possession game in Game 7. So he's just saying the idea that the Cavs were just unbeatable for the Warriors and they needed Kevin Durant to beat them. He's saying that's what he doesn't agree with.
Sure,
he's not saying that they would have beat the Cavs. He's just saying that's what would happen.
Do you think the Warriors would have beat them without KD the next year?
The next season, in the 16-17 season, I think the Cavs smoked them in 5 games. I don't think they beat them. I think they smoked the Warriors, and now the Warriors got to break up.
So therefore, there are people that believe that they need a KD then.
Okay. He disagrees. All I was doing was explaining his perspective, not that.
Yeah,
sure. I'm not even responding to you in front of the super chat.
Yeah, because every time I feel like I explain something, everyone thinks, "Oh, Mars agrees with it." I'm just explaining.
Just putting context on it.
It's just the energy in which you read. You're a passionate reader. That's all.
I'm saying, the idea that they were unbeatable. Who was unbeatable? I mean, that Bulls team, I think in '96 was unbeatable. I don't think that anybody. I think that Warriors team in '17. I don't think nobody was beating them.
I don't think the Warriors would beat the Cleveland in 14-15 either, Chill. But there are things that happen. There's stuff that happens.
Even though Kawhi Leonard got hurt, I mean, that Laker team in 2000. I think that 2001 Laker team. I don't think nobody was beating them. Nobody. There are a few teams in history that I see that this team was unbeatable. Nobody was beating them. I don't think that the Cavs were unbeatable, but.
Do you think the 24 Celtics, this next Celtics, so 25, like relative health, they're just like going to have they're just going to have one too many good players on the roster. I gotta see what it looks like, but they could very well be one of those teams that runs through the playoffs next year. Like Derek White is just one too many players too good.
Right.
Where you just constantly have to overcome Tatum, Brown, KP, Drew. Then all of a sudden Sam Hauser come out of nowhere with some, 10 threes in one of these games.
All it takes is Jason Tatum to have a good shooting postseason and they don't lose. Like I just
like 0 games, Mars.
like, they walked to a championship 16-3. Yes, injured competition, weak conference run, whatever. They walked to a championship 16-3 with Jason Tatum shooting like 30% on jump shots.
What did the Warriors go on their run in 22? What was their record? 16-5.
So they lost
5 against Denver, against the Grizzlies it was 6, against Dallas it was 5, and then against Celtics it was 6. So they lost 6 games, 16-6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the last 2 NBA champions are 32-7 in winning their title.
Yes.
What were the Bucks?
They went round 1 against
Miami. They swept them.
Bulls.
No, that was 22. That was 2.
That was 22.
Oh yeah.
So Miami was a sweep. Then the second round was
Miami.
7. So and then the next round was 6.
Yeah,
and then it was 6 again. So they lost 3, 5. They lost 7.
So the most dominant runs are the Lakers in 20, the Nuggets and the Celtics. The Lakers were 16 and. Well, no, they went 2 with the Heat.
16-5.
They went 2 with the Heat. They went.
And the Raptors was 5 against Orlando,
6.
7 against the Sixers, 6
against Milwaukee.
Wait, was 5 versus Orlando? Was that the?
They lost game 1. DJ
Augustine. The Augustine shot.
DJ Augustine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't think that shot meant anything. I think everybody was like, "Their series is still cooked."
Oh yeah, everyone knew they were going to lose, but at least they went up 1-0.
That's like when Andre Miller made that game-winning shot versus the Warriors in 12-13. I was like, we're cooked. There's no way.
Nah, you had it, man. You had it.
No, 3 seed versus 6 seed, and Steph Curry is giving you this many buckets
already.
Man.
You had it, man. You was
no,
close.
bro.
You had it.
Chill. I was livid. I couldn't believe it. Danilo Gallinari goes down with an ACL injury right for the playoff start, Joe. And then Iggy's selling tickets. He's selling tickets to the Warriors during the game.
Dub Iggy.
I'm sorry.
Not you. That's what I'm saying. You don't ever want to experience my pain. Every time Ox says something about the King, oh, I'm so sorry, Ox. But with me, I had a player selling information during the game.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
What?
Yo, we got a new member. He goes by the name of Josh Williams. Shout out to Josh Williams.
Well, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we got a member chat from Slitherman. Been around for about 3 months. He said Dame's initials stand for defensive liability.
That's true.
He definitely is, yeah.
D9 shot through a member's chat after about 13 months of good hard work tuning into the panel. He said, Dub panel, Dub chat, keep up the great content.
Nah.
All right. Mars thinks otherwise, D9. 13 months of hell coming up next. You had 13 good months. Now it's 13 months of hell to look forward to.
You're only a real one if you stick through the bad times. So we're going to give you the bad times, yeah.
Joe Dapp with the members chat. Been around about 8 months. Joe Dapp said, which teams need Lonzo the most if he stays healthy? I guess we're going to start our Lonzo talks right here.
The Suns could have really used Lonzo.
I thought he would have been great on San Antonio, but I don't even know if he can play. To be honest with you, I don't.
He can play, man. We got the new knee. We locked in.
We're gonna have to see Mars. I don't know if he can play yet. I got to see it, and I don't need to see it for a week. I don't need to see it for a little while. I need to see it. Yes, I need to see it for a while.
Lonzo was 2021. Lonzo better? Would he be better fit on a team than Drew was this last year?
No, I don't think so.
Drew can do more offensively.
Yes.
Lonzo was hitting his threes by that point, and he's
but he was a spot guy. It's not much off the bounce. In the half court, he's really more of an off ball guy, and then in transition, you get all that playmaking value. But I'm not sure that makes off everything Drew does. And then defensively, I mean, I think
Lonzo was still a positive. He just wasn't. He wasn't Drew.
Is he a playmaker? Yeah, I don't think he's the on-ball playmaker that Drew Holiday is neither.
Defensive playmaker or playmaker?
Both. Defensive.
No, he's a better playmaker than Drew Holiday. For me.
On the basketball.
As a ball handler,
offensively,
dribbler.
Yeah, offensively.
I don't think it's close.
I don't think Lonzo really be making plays for him.
That's what I'm saying. When I think about
in the
Drew
half
Holiday,
court.
that's what I'm thinking. When I'm thinking about Drew Holiday in the half court, and I think about how wide open that offense is, getting downhill, pitching the ball out, drawing the defense, or getting to the rim, not just getting to the rim, but also getting bigger guys in the post and scoring on guys in the post. He does a variety of things.
When Drew Holiday scored on somebody in the post,
I watched him. I'm glad you brought that up, Swipe, because I watched him in the Cleveland series. I thought Drew Holiday was 6'10", how he was taking Evan Mobley to the box. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
That says something about Evan Mobley.
Right. What am I watching? What am I watching? Drew Holiday take Evan Mobley at 6'4", Evan Mobley is 6'11", taking him to the box and scoring on him. What am I watching? So to answer your question, that's what I saw. So I do think on the basketball, Drew I think he's a better playmaker. I think he's a better defensive playmaker than Lonzo Ball. So with that being said, I don't think that Lonzo Ball would be the difference if he jumped on that Milwaukee team healthy and they won it. No, I don't.
I just don't think he's a half-court playmaker. I don't think that's a knock on Lonzo. Anyone who watches Open Gym knows that's the Lonzo Ball propaganda show. Me and Dom will be pushing the agendas. So anyone saying that I'm slandering Lonzo is crazy. Like, I promise I've watched Lonzo more than anyone up here. He doesn't be creating plays in the half-court. You go watch that season in Chicago. The guys running the offense was DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. Lonzo was a spot-up shooter in the half-court. Now, in the full court, in transition, yes, he's a playmaker. He's an excellent passer, better passer than Drew Holiday. Don't even think it's close. I think his vision and his feel for the game is elite. But his half-court playmaking, he doesn't really run pick and rolls. He doesn't actually get into the teeth of the defense and collapse the defense. What he does is he makes excellent reads, consistent reads. And when the ball gets swung to him and there's a closeout, he'll drive that closeout and he'll make the extra reads. That's what he does. But I don't consider that playmaking. I consider that play continuation. I consider that high IQ basketball, and I think he's extremely valuable, but I don't think he's a playmaker. I don't think he's the one who creates the initial advantage. I don't think he's ever been that. I don't think he's someone who collapses defenses. I don't think that's his game, but I do think his game next to guys who can do those things, like, for example, on the Bucks. He plays next to Giannis, who can collapse the defense, kick out to him. If someone closes out, he can drive that second closeout and kick out to someone else. That's his game. He can do that. Quick decisions, all of those things. But in terms of actually being the one to get the offense in motion and create the initial advantage, and then everyone plays off of that, that's not his game. It's never been his game because he's never been that great of a ball handler, and he's never been a threat to score inside the three-point line. That's just not his game. But in transition, he's excellent, one of the best transition playmakers in the league, and he shoots the ball at an extremely high level. And defensively, I think he's one of the best defensive guards in the league. Well, that's what I was saying before he got hurt. So,
and that's why the Chicago Bulls fell apart the way that they fell apart, because that team was going to be predicated on his ability on the defensive side of the ball to create plays and speed them up. So if I got Zach LaVine on one end, and I got DeMar DeRozan on the other end, and I got Lonzo Ball making plays defensively, I can speed us up. I can get our offense in transition going a lot faster. Now, when we get to the half court, sure, he can knock down a long ball on a draw and kick. He can definitely do that. But they would have been a lot faster. I think with them being a lot faster, I think that would have taken a lot more onus off of DeMar DeRozan in the half court. And the reason why, because I don't think they would have had to play half court as much, because a lot of their offense would have been predicated on them defensively speeding up the game. So with that being said, I have to find out if Lonzo Ball can still play, because that's a large part of his game, playing in transition, playing fast. That's why I got to find out if he can still play. Can he run?
Yeah, he can run. We loved him. But like, I don't think people understand like how impressive it was that the Chicago Bulls in 22 with Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine as their three other starters had a top 5 defense anchored by their backcourt. Like, their only good defenders in their starting lineup were Lonzo and Caruso. Yeah. That's it. And they had a top 5 defense in the league. And that's because of what they were doing.
DeMar DeRozan at the 4.
Point of attack defense, defensive playmaking, making rotations, secondary, tertiary rim protection, rebounding, switching, everything you could want from 2 defensive guards, they both did it. If Lonzo can be anywhere close to that defensively, he's an all defensive caliber guards, and he's an extreme value on offense for 18, 20 million. Any contender wants that. Any contender in the league wants that. No, it's not even close. They want that. So go get Lonzo, man.
Well, but can he run though? Like,
yeah.
When you got a fridge?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When you got knee situations like meniscus and things like that,
he got a new knee.
I know he got his knee from a dead nigga, but look, when your knee,
that did happen, Ron. I mean, if we keeping it a bean, that's exactly what happened.
You can
Yes.
you can play like, and I'm mind you, I hope this isn't the case. I really want to see Lonzo Ball play basketball again. I'm really sad that he's been out for this long. I hate to see that, especially for a young guy with his skill and talent level. I really want Lonzo to be back, and I hope he's back good as new. But with knees, you know how it goes sometimes. Like, you might be good for a couple weeks, and then the pain, you know, the dull pain, the throbbing, it just don't really go away. So I hope that's not the case. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to get too excited, y'all. I just want to wait maybe till like Thanksgiving, and then around Thanksgiving, it's like, okay, Lonzo's back. You know,
Is he playing?
He's playing 5-on-5. He just started playing 5-on-5 this month. He said so far it's been good. Like, he hasn't felt pain. He's been going through it. They've been taking it slow, of course.
The Bulls would let him go. If that's
the Bulls aren't keeping him. They got Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's their Lonzo Ball replacement. They're just gonna move Lonzo.
They need to let Ayo go too. Ayo, so go ahead and let him go. Lonzo and
Still got Kobe too.
That's their foundation. It's Kobe. It's Kobe White. It's the kid Giddey and the kid Baselis. That's their foundation.
That's their foundation. We'll trade Ayo.
Oh, they're garbage. 100%, they're garbage, no doubt. But that's their foundation. That's what they're building their unit around. Those three guys.
So why people get rid? That doesn't make it. That to me, that's no.
And they just got Pat Williams to an extension too.
Ayo a Chicago kid, man. They're gonna keep Ayo around.
No, man. Trade him, please. Don't put him through that. Where he's the fourth guard in the rotation when he's clearly better than that. Clearly.
So Swiper. So we should expect for Ayo to be gone, Lonzo.
I wouldn't do it.
And Levine.
If they're first off,
they seemingly can't get off Levine.
Right. They've been trying to offer Levine plus in trades to get off of him.
Or they're offering trades plus Levine. Will you take him too?
Yeah, like, please just take Levine off our hands, which is crazy.
There was a deal on the table, if y'all remember, when there was a deal on the table for him to go to Detroit, and he was like, "I'm getting surgery. I'm not going to play in Detroit."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, San Antonio don't got nothing for him.
No, they have a better guard already on the.
Chris Paul.
No. First off, I'm not trolling today, so we're not doing this anymore. So
you admit it was a troll last time. Okay.
No, I didn't say that. I'm not trolling today by interacting with you. Okay, about some points. Listen, they have a better shooting guard on their team named Devin Vassell, so they don't need who's 6'7". That's the only reason. That's the only reason that I wouldn't do it. I'm not touching Devin Vassell's development.
Devin Vassell is better than Zach LaVine
for what they're wanting to go forward in the future.
That's a new development.
Yeah,
long term. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying right now.
He's healthier, he's taller, he's a better defender. Oh, all of it, please.
I thought you were saying right now. Okay, I'm cool.
Please. Devin Vassell and Victor. Hold on, Ron. Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama finna be that 1-2 pair. I said this the other night, and everybody thought I was drunk because I was drinking water and I'd been outside all day, chill. I literally was outside all day. I come back home, try to do PCL, and people like, Swipe is drunk. No, I'm not. Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama are better than anything the Rockets got. I should have won that debate.
Oh, my
better
God.
Than anything the Rockets got.
Here we go.
I agree with you that Devin Vassell and Victor Wembanyama are the best duo in San Antonio, but I'm not going to sit around here and act like Devin Vassell is already who you think he's going to be. You know, like,
I clearly got to start watching Devin Vassell more because
he's cold, bro.
I clearly have to start watching him more. San Antonio was already a tough watch before they got Wemby. So now that they had Wemby, I peeked my head in on them a lot. I'm going to start watching them more this year, but I'm going to start paying more attention to Devin Vassell.
Who he play like, y'all? Who Devin
I still like Keldon over Devin.
I liken him to a lesser Chris Middleton.
No,
a lesser Chris Middleton?
That doesn't make me feel good.
Well, he's 23, so yeah,
right.
but that's what I think. I think he's
lesser Chris.
Could he be a better version of Chris Middleton?
Right now, I think he's Chris Middleton. I think he's a lesser Chris Middleton.
If he's a lesser version of him, so moving forward, Mars, not even 5 or 10 years. What kind of player are we looking at? Could he be a better version of Middleton? Because if he could be a better version of him with Wemby, I think
I'll say that he could be better than Jamal.
Than Jamal Murray?
Mm-hmm. That's not a high bar.
No. Mars, I'm not. Mars. Stop it. I'm saying Jamal just had a 27-5-7 run through the NBA Finals. I'm saying he could be better than Jamal. So yeah, that's a big deal. Next to Victor.
Devin Vassell can play well for 20 games. Ooh.
Yo, Swiper, am I gonna be okay, bro? I'm dumb. I thought these was baby wipes. I've been blowing my nose with these this whole time.
Surface wipes?
Like, sir, I didn't read it. I thought that was baby wipes.
Why would you not read them beforehand? Wait, are they organic? Oh, hold on, are they organic? What do they have in it? What do they have?
Yeah, they're from Whole Foods Market.
No, but what do they say?
365,
What
bro.
chemicals are they?
Ron, this is your man, Ron.
Shit, I don't know, bro.
This would never happen with me hosting the show.
How? What the hell is happening right now, Ron? This is
Acetic acid, sodium chloride, potassium
Did you
sorbate.
have you for real been blowing your nose?
Yeah.
Okay, go clean. Just go clean your nose off. I'm not even playing with you. Go clean your nose off, for real. Go clean your nose.
This dude is incredible.
Go wash your nose, Ox.
I gotta go get some toilet tissue. I'll be right back, y'all.
This is
Soap
your
and water. Soap and water. Soap and water.
Yo, while Ox is cleaning his nose, we are gonna feast our eyes on what Lonzo Ball currently looks like right now. Brace yourself. Let's do it.
Oh, you the man. He can shoot it. He can shoot. Hey, shot. That's all. That shot. Oh! Skinny. Good pass. Corner.
You already playing next to DeAndre Jordan. You know where you're going.
Good pass.
All this shows me is the Nuggets got their backup big, man. Look at this.
Hey. Tomorrow we'll be back at our facility. But he can play. That's what he's gonna be next. He's gonna be D1. We just walk him through it.
I know that shot anywhere.
Shot Zoe.
He pulling.
Shot Zoe. Buck. Good defense.
That's a great pass.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Good move.
Yep.
Good shot.
Who's that?
Good shot. Good hand.
That Ronald
Jalen Johnson.
Good hand.
That's Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, that's definitely Jalen Johnson.
Good
That's
move.
another one people have another double breakout. Yeah.
Oh, was that Nimhard? Who's that?
I like what I was saying.
I wasn't paying attention at the end. But I
Get
seen
Lonzo.
DeAndre Jordan make a three. The Nuggets gonna stretch 5.
Get Lonzo where he needs to go. That's all I'm saying.
What, Denver?
Look, bro. No, because they can't afford him. Unless
I would like him in Denver. That'd be nice.
He'd be great in Denver. Everyone would be great in Denver. Denver just ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no player money.
Moolah, no
Just
moolah.
gotta get,
Hey,
gotta
wait.
get out of
You got
Chicago.
McDonald's money? Nope.
Gotta
Zoe
get him
in
out of
Orlando?
Chicago.
Zoe in Orlando?
Oh, now you talking, Mars. If he's healthy, I would love that. If he is healthy, So I would love.
You see the movement, man.
With
I would
who?
love
So
to see that.
right now it's Jalen Suggs and KCP. Who you
He's
trading?
better than Jalen Suggs.
He's what?
He's better than Jalen Suggs.
If Lonzo is healthy like that, where you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be able to play for the foreseeable future. I would be fine coming off of Jalen Suggs.
I'd ideally keep both of them. And just
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I mean, you want
I'll get off Cole. I'll get off Gary Harris. Whoever I need to get.
those are the guys I got to go. Markel, Cole Anthony,
Yeah.
all those guys. Those are the ones that I've been saying for over a season. You have to get those guys out the way.
So
Now, if you can get Lonzo and keep KCP and Jalen Suggs, that's perfect. That's beautiful. That's ideal. That is a scary squad right there. That's the team. That's the team that teams don't want to play in the playoffs.
Hold on, right quick.
sleeping?
What does that defense look like?
That's the best defense. That might be the best defense in the league next year.
Well, Jonathan
Better than
Isaac.
Celtics?
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Might be,
yeah. If they
Come
had
on, man.
Suggs, Lonzo, KCP, Franz, Paulo, Wendell, Mo, and then Gary
Jonathan
Harris coming
Isaac.
off the
Jonathan
bench.
Isaac.
Jonathan Isaac. Yeah,
Guys, wait. Because I know I'm a little bit older here and I'm losing my mind. But what happens when they go after him, which they're going to do?
Go after
He's
who?
gonna guard them. That's
Really?
what's gonna happen.
We haven't seen
after
any.
who?
We haven't seen this dude
Lonzo.
guard.
Oh.
We saw 5 minutes of him playing in a pickup game. What happens when they put the
I don't think you
bullseye on
understand.
him?
They
What
took
happens when go after
took that
him?
dead man's
What
knee
happens when they
from a
make
guy
him?
who had a 45-inch vertical. That was an athletic person's dead knee. That's what it was. So his knee is more explosive than it was before.
And how come I don't see that then, Mars? In 5 minutes?
Keep taking it easy,
That's
chill.
all I've
He
seen.
getting back.
Chilling. He's
getting back.
What's gonna and with him getting back, y'all telling me y'all ready to move dudes to put him in the lineup?
Well, yeah, if it's Cole Anthony and Markel Fultz, I'm ready. I would trade them for Ron and Mars right now.
I think Cole Anthony's one of the
I
better
can
backup
provide
league guards.
some value.
I think Cole Anthony is one of the better backup league guards in the game, man. I don't think you dudes give Cole Anthony nearly as much.
He cool.
credit.
He not Lonzo.
He's definitely one of the better backup league guards in the game. But to see Lonzo for a couple of minutes, and now we moving off of these other guys when the Bulls, who are going to be as bad as the Bulls are going to be, they do have a guy They don't have this guy in Alex Caruso to protect him anymore. So they're going to be people who are going to go after him, and they're going to go after him early and often.
And they're
Not
going to
only
fail.
that, not only are there going to be people who go after him early and often, he's going to have to prove consistently that he can make shots, not wide open shots, because anybody can do that when you're in a gym, when you're playing pickup in July or in August. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about coming off a pick and pop. And Mars, you just talked about how inefficient and how deficient he was in the half court. So now I'm going to be on a bad team, a bad second unit. In addition to being on a bad second unit, I'm playing against better defenses. And now you're going to tell me that this guy has to make shots and he's going to be so much better? I don't think so.
They still
I
got
gotta
Anthony
see it
Black.
first.
Don't forget Anthony Black's still down there too.
I think he's their point guard of the future.
Anthony Black won't be.
I think
Anthony Black.
The thing with Lonzo,
if
Lonzo's
Anthony,
their point guard, isn't he?
Anthony and Lonzo, they can share minutes. I'm not saying that like Lonzo needs to come out the gate playing 30 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with walking him in, maybe starting him on the Jonathan Isaac plan. You know what I mean? Like,
the 15-minute restriction.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke,
the
guy does know how to play, Smoke. I'm not saying that he doesn't know how to play, but you still have to be physically able to do it. I'm not saying that mentally that you're not. You have to show me that you are physically able to do this on a consistent basis. I don't mean on a Tuesday in November. I mean on a consistent Tuesday in November and in December and in January when we get into the dog days of the season. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about playing in a pickup game, Mars, in August, where guys aren't really playing defense. I'm talking about when we're in the NBA and we got guys playing for contracts. We got guys playing for minutes. And we got guys trying to stay on the floor. And Lonzo Ball might be the difference between me having an extension next year or me getting cut.
The thing with Lonzo is, like, first of all, I'm pretty sure Chicago's going to buy him out. I don't even think they're going to trade him. I think they're going to buy him out.
How many more years do you have left?
One.
This is it.
Okay,
This
good.
is it. Yeah, I think they're going
that
to buy
would
him
be
out.
great for Lonzo. I think that's
So he's going to have a choice of where because it's a 21 million buyout. That's what it'll be. So he's probably going to have a choice of where he goes, and it's low risk. He's probably going to take a minimum, like wherever he goes, 1 year minimum, just to show that he can play. It's a low risk, high reward. The upside is you get what Lonzo was 2 years ago, and then in that case, you've got the best contract in the league for that year. And the downside is, oh yeah, this guy just can't play anymore. It's done.
Yeah.
Oh, we wasted a minimum contract on it.
Like it's not likely he comes back that fast to that level though, Mars. I mean, he can.
But that's the upside. That's the maximum upside.
Best case
and then, best case is you get 22 Lonzo. That's what you get.
Right.
Worst case is he physically just can't play in the league anymore. It's done.
He should.
And then you've got the other options of the other option is we play him on a minutes restriction. He shows flashes of what he used to be capable of, and that's enough for a team to be willing to give him a cheaper but more extended deal, a 3-year, 15 or something like that. Like that's the mid-end outcome. Like there's no real risk with doing this for any team. If you're Orlando, a team that needed playmaking at the league guard position, needed more floor spacing, and you can never say no to more defense. Lonzo's like the perfect guy on a minimum contract for 12 minutes a game to see what he can do. Like
I gotta see it, Mars. I'm not saying it's unrealistic, Mars. I gotta see it. That's all I'm saying, Mars. I gotta see it. That's all.
So basically, chill. What I'm hearing is the best two options for Lonzo is Milwaukee and Miami.
That'd be nice.
Milwaukee.
I don't hate him in Milwaukee. I don't.
Yeah.
I do not hate him in Milwaukee. No, I don't.
Cool.
I gotta see it though.
Orlando,
Miami's very nice. Miami's very nice.
Because how old is Lonzo? What, he's 26?
26, 27? Yeah.
He can still grow with them young boys. If he's healthy,
2017 draft.
It can play
He's
6
the same age as DM.
He turns 27 in October, so 26.
Yeah, same age as DM.
He's been in the league 7 years. I'm sorry.
And we haven't seen him play since I was 12.
Yeah, he's been out of the game for 2 years.
Sad.
Yeah.
So you don't think he has no trade value?
I would
As of right now?
No. Because you got to make the money work. 21.5 million for a 1 year Lonzo that you don't know what you're gonna get.
Right.
No team's taking that risk.
And he hasn't played in 2 years. Like what team is what are you willing to give up for a guy who hasn't played in 2 years? Even though that money is a little bit of money, especially at this level. I know that's crazy to say that $20 million is a little bit of money, but he has to show that he is viable on some level. And there are teams who haven't seen that yet. So now at the trade deadline, I will tell you this, Ron, at the trade deadline, if he is playing to what Mars is talking about, the price tag definitely goes up.
Yeah,
I do want to put it out that Orlando have experience with this. Jonathan Isaac didn't play for 2 years. Like he also with a knee problem. He didn't play for 2 years.
Correct.
He came back in the 23 season, barely played, but he was there. And then this past season, they played him. Extreme load management. I was talking about, best per minute defender in the league, 15 minutes a game. They ramped him up. He was good. And then in the postseason, he was playing like 20 minutes a game. He looked fine defensively, offensively. But like they have experience dealing with guys of that mode of they haven't played in a long time, how to manage it, how to deal with it. And I feel like they've managed the Jonathan Isaac thing perfectly. And then Jonathan Isaac just got an extension. I feel like if Lonzo's looking at it for the betterment of his career, Orlando's like the perfect team. They've done it with Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac now has job security for the next 4 years because he just signed the extension. They didn't overexert him. They didn't rush him. And he showed how valuable he could be because of everything he brought to the court. Orlando, for me, is the perfect destination for Lonzo. That's where I'd be looking to try and go.
Did you right now? I see Heat versus Haters 2.0. Lonzo for Tyler Hero right now. Who says no to that?
No.
What Miami says no.
Miami says
if I'm a team owner and you trade for Lonzo Ball, especially if you trade Tyler Hero, your ass is fired.
What?
I'm talking
I agree.
Before I even see how it works out. I don't need to see how it works out. Get the hell out of my facility, pack your shit, and go.
To get off Tyler Hero's contract?
Right now. Because first of all, I want to make sure I'm clear about this. I'm a fan of Tyler Hero. So I want to say that first. But secondly, that's just a bad move. I would be so disappointed. I would be so disappointed.
I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now I can just play Duncan Robinson or whatever.
I do.
They can't trade Tyler either. That's an unmovable contract too. They've been trying to trade him just like Zach LaVine.
I'm not trading him for someone I don't know if they're going to be good or not.
I don't even know if you can play past Halloween. I'm not doing
it. No one's trading for those.
First week of the season, Ox.
Right.
Yes.
I have no idea.
No one's trading for Zoe. It's gonna be he's gonna get bought out, and
I don't think so either, Mars.
He's gonna go somewhere on a minimum. That's what's gonna happen.
He had the internet pissed off at Stephen A. because Stephen A. said that he couldn't, do something, and he stood up in a chair like, "Oh, I can do that." And everybody was like, "See, he can't play. Stephen A. don't know what the hell he's talking about." And we ain't seen it. That was over a year ago.
I mean, he coming back. We gonna see this season. I believe in you, sir.
Yo, so my follow-up question is, we've talked about Lonzo on a lot of different teams, but we don't think it's no way that he can stick around with the Bulls.
For what?
I mean, he has a good breakout season. Good, he plays good in the first couple months. Why wouldn't the Bulls want to keep him around?
For what?
Ron, they building that unit around Giddey, White, and Basellas, and they're in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. They're not holding on to Lonzo Ball long term. No, they're not. They're going to be a bad team.
You can patch them with Wilt, though, right?
Well, they just extended Vucevic out. Vucevic, I don't think any team wants Vucevic. Respectfully, I don't think any team wants him.
No,
that's crazy. I would want him.
Yeah, but you have this affinity for these European bigs who have some semblance of post game. You just have an affinity for them, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, but
I'm just saying. I think he has some value. I'm like.
How much is Vucevic making?
It's like 17, 20?
Because they just Vucevic is making 20 million this season and then 21.5 the next year. Yeah, no, and that's someone who's shot. He had like the worst shooting percentages for any player with his volume on jump shots in the league. His defense is egregious, and we're not giving Vucevic post ups in 2024.
Not in the clutch. His clutch defense was good.
But shout out to him, 18 and 10. Damn. Shout out to him, but it's just I don't think any team is seriously going after Vucevic. But maybe
the Knicks and the Pelicans both need a 5-man. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm just saying they both need a 5-man.
Vucevic is a major downgrade.
I agree. I wouldn't have let Valanciunas just go. I would have definitely kept him around if possible. But I'm saying they need somebody. They only got Daniel Tice, So
and Yves Missy.
Oh, about to say, yeah.
Right, Vuk's better than him.
We don't know.
I think it's safe to assume, though. Like,
Yves Missy might be a hooper for him.
They don't have a real center in the Western Conference. That's tough, bro.
Yves Missy.
Whenever Mars, whenever your voice gets that high in pitch, we know you're trolling.
How is Yves Missi not a real center?
All right,
Not
now
'cause he's a rookie?
he's doing that thing he accused us of when he said unbeatable, and then he said he's not being literal. Now you're over here.
So because he's a rookie, he's not valuable?
No. I didn't mean that in a literal sense.
So what do you mean by no real
They don't have a center, I believe, ready to play primetime television against all the Western Conference bigs. They're going to have to run a game by game.
Because he's a rookie. Yeah, because he's a rookie. I see. The Spurs ain't have one last year either.
The Spurs?
Is that Collins?
No, they had a rookie, so clearly they ain't have a good center.
I like that. Collins.
Yves Missi, just watch. I'm locked in on Yves Missi now. We hooping next year. Welcome back, Ron.
You can leave again, Ron.
Now he got super chats.
I would have put Ox in the boot just for that. I would have put Ox in the boot.
Wrong got super chats. Go ahead, Ron.
No, you can leave.
Nah.
Hey, wait. Mars, did he give you poll responsibilities yet?
Nah.
Mars, if you want to get on that poll, I got you.
Yo.
Get on that
I'm
poll.
just saying, don't ask me for responsibilities. Call Oxen and you join. You know that
super chats, wrong.
What
super chats? Super chats.
So keep me out of this weird shit, bro. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be involved in this, bro.
I can't teach that man how to work a poll. I don't know. All right. Either way it goes. So we talked about Lonzo Ball being bought out. When do you think Lonzo Ball can get bought out or will get bought out?
Well, the buyout market is in March. But with that being said, I don't think he's going to get bought out, Mars. I think that he's going to, if he plays to the level that you think he's going to play, and that contract is already going to be prorated. So if that contract is already prorated, when we get to the trade deadline, more than half the season is already going to be over. So he'll be a bargain for what you're talking about. And on top of that, you could get him for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack. I don't think he gets bought out.
Okay. He's not staying in Chicago.
I know he's not. I'm not buying that he is.
All right. Well, we will definitely see what's next with Lonzo. We'll monitor that very closely. But it's good to see him back on the court, back playing. Hopefully he can stay healthy, and hopefully Mars was right about the person that he got that knee from. Moving along, we do indeed have super chat.
It might be Wilt Chamberlain's knee.
That's crazy.
Nah.
It might be Wilt.
It
might be.
That's insane.
No.
We don't know. It might be.
Chamberlain is long gone. Chamberlain passed away.
It could be.
Chamberlain is long
That's
gone,
literally
brother.
impossible.
Also, happy birthday to Wilt Chamberlain, by the way. So
today's his birthday?
Yeah.
Dub segue into
what's your earliest Wilt
birthday
Chamberlain memory, Joe?
What is my earliest Wilt Chamberlain memory?
Probably him in Kansas during the
when I was a kid, my uncle used to talk to me about Chamberlain. I was like in second grade because he was a Jabbar fan, and he used to talk about Chamberlain. That was my earliest memory of him.
Who did your uncle say was the GOAT?
My uncle, he thought Bill Russell. He loved Walt Frazier. That was his man. He loved him some Walt Frazier, but Bill Russell. Right? Yeah, Bill Russell.
He's still with us, your uncle? He's still with us?
No, he gone, unfortunately, in 2020.
Wait, who?
Oh, so he's seen like all the way up to the modern time.
Yes, he saw Chamberlain, he saw Oscar Roberts, he saw Jerry West, all of these guys. Yeah, he passed.
And he still had Bill Russell.
Yeah, Bill Russell was his guy.
Okay. In 2020, if you would have asked him, if you would have been like, "Yo, who's your top 5? Who do you think it would have been?"
If I would have asked him, he loved LeBron James. He loved LeBron James. He loved Bill Russell. He loved Chamberlain. He loved Jabbar, and he loved Magic. Those was his guys.
That's a valid top 5. I know.
Which is crazy to me because as much as he talked about Walt Frazier, when I heard him move Walt Frazier for Magic, I was like, "Word." I thought that was crazy because Walt Frazier was his guy.
Yeah. Well, I know he said Bill Russell the GOAT. That's what I needed to hear. Yeah, shout out to Chill.
Are you not a Bill Russell guy, Joe?
Am I?
He a hater. Yeah.
Am I what?
You don't think Bill Russell's I think Bill Russell has to argue for a top 5 player all time.
I have him 5th all time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, but he's a hater. He has him below Wilt, so he's a hater.
Yeah, I have him 5th all time. Yeah.
That's cool.
5th all time is crazy.
Why? Because the era
has to be top 1.
11 championships, best defender, best rebounder, good scorer, positive scorer. He was. He did. He did. He scored. He scored.
Good
his
scorer.
For his air, he did. Yeah, he scored. He hit buckets.
Mars,
However he had to do it
in the playoffs. For
Swipe,
four
look,
straight.
However he did it.
Good scorer is a
He's
disgusting
not Michael Jordan.
opinion.
He's not Shaq, but he scored. That's true.
Well, that's it right there. You said it right there. Swipe. It's like when you've seen Kareem, Shaq, Tim Duncan. I can't put Bill Russell top 5.
Good scorer is crazy. Shout out to Bill Russell.
Hakeem Olajuwon, I can't do it.
You think Hakeem better than Bill Russell at basketball?
Oh, for sure.
Good.
Disrespecting the previous generations, crazy man. U.S. and Anthony Edwards.
Anyway, yes, Ron.
V Rose with the first super chat of the day. V Rose said, "Y'all seen Ronaldo's new YouTube channel? 1 million subs in less than 2 hours.
That's not impressive. That's not
Number
impressive
2 GOAT,
It's Ronaldo.
and y'all not ready for Lonzo this season.
That's not impressive.
Wait,
I mean,
no.
a million subs.
He has the most Instagram followers in the world, I believe. With like 400 mil? It might be 400. I have no
They
idea
just said
what
it's 3 million now.
Yeah, this is Ronaldo.
Are any of you guys one of them?
No.
No, I didn't even know this, but I'm probably gonna follow suit. I like Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like that, Joe. I mean, I don't know. Like, he's the most popular athlete.
What type of content? What type of content is he gonna drop on YouTube? Like his highlights and
Lifestyle.
stuff? Or like,
He can do whatever lifestyle, whatever.
like a day in the life type stuff? Like
I want to know who this.
How does he have time for that?
I want to know who this cricket guy is who's got 330 million followers on Twitter. Who is this dude?
I mean, cricket's
Is he
a
from
big
India?
sport.
Yes.
Cricket's a big sport.
No, not in. I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's from India.
4.41 million subscribers.
There's no way Speed made a reaction video to Ronaldo's channel already. He got 200,000 views down there.
I mean, he's got 4.41 million subs in.
Speed's on content. That's he's doing his thing. But I can't even find the channel.
You are Cristiano. The letter U are, and then Cristiano. I had to go look for it.
And to everybody that's watching this, that's subscribed to You Are Cristiano, but isn't subscribed to Player's Choice.
Facts. How he got 4 million subs and we ain't got 4 million subs?
There's already
fake
accounts.
Crazy.
We ain't got as much motion as Cristiano Ronaldo. Is that what?
I can't find it, Mars.
Facts.
Oh well.
Yeah, Texas
shadow ban swiper.
Shadow ban. There's a bunch of fake. There's a bunch of fake accounts already trying to get pulled.
That's hilarious.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna start another Big Ox. I'm Big Ox champagne. See if I can get extra.
Call it the rose rule. But with call it the Prosecco room. But we got a couple new members. Shout out my man Christian. Shout out Stuffy Duffy. Shout out Cozy.
Stuffy Duffy is fire.
And more importantly, my man Joe Dap gifted 5 Players Choice memberships. So shout out to all 5 of you guys that got those Players Choice memberships. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and keep exercising that membership. We like to see you guys around a whole lot longer than just, 30 days. But hip name Slickback, I sent through a super chat. He said, I think the Celtics lose 2 games in the East next year.
Wow.
In the regular season, I think they are even better than last year. Got a question for everybody except Mars. All right, let's do it. Would you take Chet or Sengun long term?
Yeah, that was a Rockets Twitter debate right now. It's Chet, but Rockets Twitter definitely say Shingun.
Chill.
Chet.
Ox.
I'll take Stuffy Duffy. That's such a fire name. That's such a fire name. Stuffy Duffy is hilarious. I think got to take Chet. Yeah, take Chet for sure.
Ron, I would say flip a coin for this next year. I don't know, flip a coin. Going into the future, sorry y'all, Chet clears. Hello, Mars.
Hello.
All right. Here we go. Moving along. Julius Irvin sent through another super chat. He said, chill. They may beat the Warriors in 5, but they also may lose in 5 to the Warriors. But to act as if it's an undoubtedly fact that the Warriors need KD is crazy.
I don't understand why it's crazy. I think from a psychological advantage, I think that's why they win. I don't think that it's crazy that they needed KD, but There's a reason why they went out and got him.
Lee Mack with the super chat said, "Today is a very quote unquote shock era where people saying things for attention and clicks. Ignorance is bliss. Play ball, be humble." It's funny you say that, Lee Mack, because although I do agree that this is a shock era, I don't think Anthony Edwards said this for clicks or likes. He gets all the attention in the world. I think he sincerely believed that. And yes, he is ignorant, and ignorance is bliss. But also, too, like, you can't get mad at Anthony Edwards for saying something of that caliber when he's been doing this his whole career. This is who Anthony Edwards has built his quote unquote aura and charismatic character around. And you guys love him for this. You love him for saying he's the number one option. You love him for saying that he's unguardable. You love him for saying that he's the best player in the NBA in X, Y, and Z. This is why we love Anthony Edwards, right?
When did he say that last part?
What, that he's the best player in the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
He may have never said it. He may have never said it, but he believes it.
I don't like it. That's a lie.
I bet you if you ask Anthony Edwards who's the best player in basketball, he's going to say himself.
He said it. He said it in the second round last year. He said it in the second round. I haven't heard him say that far yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. By the end of next year, I can definitely hear him saying it for sure.
Y'all just can't put words in their brother's mouth.
Regardless, this is who Anthony Edwards has built himself on by saying things that are crazy, that are out there, and you guys love him for that. So no, now get mad at him for saying something else like that. That's who he is.
Who is Oxy? Are you an Ant fan?
Ant did say he was the best player in the world.
See, I know
I like him. I like Ant.
I had to go.
You know, I like these things that Ron is talking about.
What you just said, Mars. Imagine if they would have won the NBA championship. Imagine if they'd have won the NBA championship. Where everything that you just said. Imagine if Minnesota would have won the NBA championship. What kind of Anthony Edwards would we be dealing with? We already heard Dwayne Wade say that he was on the trajectory coming for the throne. So if the Minnesota Timberwolves win the NBA championship last season, how is Ant Edwards bearable?
No.
Is he bearable?
No.
I'm being honest with you, Ron.
I mean,
so if somebody tells Ant to shut up and dribble, they're wrong.
I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and somehow Anthony Edwards no one seems to be viewing what he's doing as crossing that line, which I don't really care, to be honest. But the word aura gets thrown around a lot with a lot of these players, and I'm not gonna lie, and I'm saying this from the most honest way I can possibly say it. The term aura is just people using the term because they find these players attractive. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm being 1000% sincere. That's the only reason they're saying, oh, Ant has aura, Shea has aura. Like, that's the only reason they're saying it. And once again, if Ant looked like Sam Cassell, they wouldn't let him get away with half the things he says.
That's insane that you did that.
They
I'm
would.
not gonna lie, Mars. You had me in the first half. You had me in the first half. Yeah, you had me in the first half.
Wait,
you can disagree. You can disagree.
What is that guy?
And I want to say no disrespect. No disrespect to Sam Cassell. Sorry,
too late.
But it was disrespectful. I apologize. You know what, Sam Cassell? I apologize.
Nah, if there was ever any chance of us getting Sam Cassell on the show,
it's definitely
we've definitely the Sam Cassell.
No, we still get him on the show. It's just Mars got to go.
The Sam Cassell bridge is burnt, or he's just gonna have. I'm just gonna have to not be on the show that day if he ever gets it.
That's all it is.
But 1000%. I'm sorry. I would die on that hill. That's what I believe. People only give these guys aura points if they find them attractive. I'm sorry. I don't care.
That's part of it, though.
That's a good point, Mars. That is for sure.
Yeah. And to your point, Mars, that is part of it. One of the main reasons why Jordan had the aura, as good as a player he was a good-looking dude. So a lot of these, like, one more time.
Based on what?
What do you mean? Look,
no one says Jokic has aura, TC.
How do you know somebody's attractive? Like, how do you know somebody's attractive?
Swiper, come on, like don't do all that, Swiper. Come on,
Swiper, you and I have had this conversation. You know what a good-looking dude looks like, Swiper. Knock it off.
Tell me.
He got a nice. It's the smile,
and you can be comfortable in your manhood.
No, I'm not doing it like that. I'm saying, how do you? What is
you could be comfortable. I'm comfortable enough.
I am comfortable, which is why I'm having this conversation.
Okay, I'll give you an example. When I look at Anthony Edwards, a young guy like that, I'm like, that's a good-looking dude. Dark skin, tall, muscular. He's articulate. That makes him attractive to people. I'm on record saying, when I was younger, If Jimmy Jackson would have picked up the telephone and called me up to go out on a Friday night, I'm hanging with him because I know for a fact what's going down.
Yeah,
I know for a fact. I know for a fact what's going down. If Jim Jackson calls me like, "Yo, let's go hang out," hell yes, I'm hanging out.
Yeah,
with him.
Jim, where they at?
Yes, I'm definitely hanging out with Jim Jackson.
Not where
if
they
Anthony
at.
Edwards
Where
calls
you
me,
at?
right? If
That's
Anthony
where they
Edwards
at.
calls me, if Anthony Edwards calls me on a Friday night, like, "Yo, let's go hang out," when I'm younger, when I'm around his age, yes, I'm going to hang out with Anthony Edwards because I know he know where they at.
But what
yes,
is
he does.
Well, what does that mean though? What do you know what's going down? Like he's bringing
Swiper,
other people.
Women
on, bro.
are
Why you doing all this,
women
bro?
particularly are attracted to him.
Yo,
But
Because
the
he has a
thing
good
about
view.
you wanna be a part
Ant,
of the
it's
shared
more than that though. Swiper, like Ant, he got that vibe. He's a little dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like he says edgy things. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the smile, so it's like he can say things and then put the smile on, and people were like, "Oh, I like that guy." You know what I'm saying? Like he got a sinister look about him, and that's that danger draws people in. But it's that's how it's what it is.
So wait, who has the top 5 aura in the league then, Chill?
Well, hold on, no, but before we ask that, and I think SGA and Ant have already been thrown out there. I guess they're at the top of the aura list. What I thought aura was all about was the way your game looked, how smooth it was, how effortless it was. I didn't think it had anything to do with attraction.
I thought PG
that helps,
got
Ron. Ron, 100%. That helps. I mean, your game can
your game
all
has
of
to
that.
be aesthetic too. Your game
100%.
I thought this was
It's-
all
Yeah, if your game
but
is aesthetic and you look busted, no one's saying you have aura.
Right. That's the point, Ron. If your game is aesthetic and you easy on the eyes, it's a lot less difficult to watch you.
Okay.
It's very easy to watch you. 100%.
So does Caitlin Clark have aura?
Yes.
Not as
no,
much.
yes, she does.
I ain't gonna say
And
that she doesn't. I'm not gonna say she doesn't.
Swiper, this is why I'm tripping.
Because she does. Yes, I'm not gonna say she doesn't, but I don't know if she has more than Angel Reese.
Her game looks a whole lot better than Angel Reese.
I'm not saying that, but we're talking
Does
about
DJ Character have more
it's two
aura
different
than
things.
everybody in the league with like maybe 5 players?
I can't speak for WNBA. I don't know.
Except for Akia Jackson, show Swiper. Hell yeah. And Asia, yep.
Did Asia have aura? Like same level
What?
aura?
Does Asia got aura?
I'm saying for a general public, does she have the same level aura as some of these other people?
Asia?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. When
Aura?
Asia walk in the room, the ground shakes.
Oh, I know. I agree, but I'm saying that like
in the Ox's bow.
I'm trying to go off this.
yo, Sniper, we got to transition back into who is the top 5 most aura-filled guys.
And you dudes in the chat, you dudes are young dudes. I understand that. So you're easily influenced. You're 15, you're 17, you're 19 years old. So you're easily influenced. So when somebody says something to you and it sounds slick, and the other fellas around are like, "Oh!" immediately you come off of it. You're not comfortable with who you are yet. You try to act like you are, but you're not. And it's fine that you're not because you're a kid. And I get it. 100% I get it. So it's not a big deal. I'm actually comfortable with who I am, not just at this age, but 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
You've been around, Chill. Played so we get Ant SGA apparently.
Hold on. You said apparently, like, do you not agree with that?
Well, I'm saying again, I don't have the same aura definition as Mark, but based on
Are y'all ranking these dudes on looks right now? Y'all ranking them?
This ain't my definition. This is my observation from how people talk about the term aura, which is why I don't use it. This is an observation I've made. Not that I don't use the term aura.
So does LeBron have aura, top 5 aura still?
From all the glaze he gets, absolutely. Yeah, just from that, yeah. Bronco aura.
Chill. What about you for your list? Does LeBron make your aura list?
Not today.
Too old?
Yes.
Nah, okay. he got
who's has prime aura?
He's got an amazing aura. He does. I won't argue that. He's got an amazing aura. James does. But is he still as attractive today? Not just his game, but him as he was 5 years ago?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
I'm sorry.
Because again,
today, as he was 5 years
he's a silver fox now. He got gray in the beard.
Are we gonna have to do a side by side of 19 LeBron versus 24 LeBron?
Yo, we are establishing right now that aura is your game. It's the way you look on the court, not how attractive you are.
Paul George got aura. Paul George.
See, but that's a guy though. Remember, Paul George had the
Anthony Edwards has aura. SGA has aura. Jason Tatum has aura.
Paul George get on screen. I'll be ready to turn the TV off, and my girl be like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Better calm the fuck down." Talk about Paul George.
So Tatum didn't chill. That why you're a Tatum fan? His aura?
No.
Is that why Tatum had so many defenders? Is it his aura?
No.
Jason Tatum lost aura points after the finals.
Yeah.
Because he was being cringy.
Mm-hmm.
John Morant, John Morant aura.
5 guys.
Steph.
I think Curry still has that aura. Yes, he does.
Curry 100%.
Yeah.
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Hey, look, we're talking about aura. Kyrie definitely.
Kyrie.
Absolutely top.
If I say Jalen Green, I'm wrong.
For you, that's probably,
I don't think he got
your aura list.
I don't think he's matured. His game and stuff is matured into it yet. You know what I mean?
You just watch highlights. You're telling me Jalen Green don't have one of the best highlight roles in the league?
It's dope, but it's not like, I don't know. From what I see about aura, he's exciting, like explosive.
Okay, I'm with you.
Aura, it's not like the aura doesn't draw you to JG just yet.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
I know one thing, and y'all dudes gonna kill me in this. Russ is still must-see TV because people want to see Russ screw up.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
But
people still want to.
That's reverse aura though.
People want to see Russ
praying on his downfall.
Yes, people want to see Russ throw the ball in. People want to see Russ shoot bricks. People want to see Russ throw the ball in, so they could be right about him.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool on the Russ minutes. I don't want to watch that shit no more.
Killian Hayes for sure got aura, but people ain't ready for that.
Maybe I'm now when you talk about aesthetics. When you talk about aesthetics, what exactly are we talking about? How you shoot a jump shot, how you get downhill, how you finish at the rim, what it looks like. I mean, because Kyrie Irving, what it looks like at the rim is incredible, right? I think it looks incredible at the rim. But a guy like Russell Westbrook, who used to be that, but is not that anymore, but people want to see him fail. Those aesthetics are in terms of comparable. I don't think it's much different.
People voting for Steph with the most aura in the NBA is certainly interesting, but
Steph got crazy aura. And
chill for you. Does Chris Middleton have the San Francisco aura?
Negative aura. Yeah, negative aura. Yeah.
I won't argue that.
If Chris swap Chris Middleton and Paul George in terms of appearance, the discourse changes.
It goes.
I promise you, the discourse changes. I am
1000%
1000% confident if Chris Middleton played the exact same but just looked like Paul George, and Paul George played the exact same but looked like Chris Middleton goes up about 7 spots in the NBA rankings.
So you're saying Chris Middleton is slam? That's what you're saying?
Shout out to Chris Middleton.
This is all I want to say.
This is insane, yo.
Or isn't just with the ball though, or is. And y'all might say that Ron is really glazing, but this is aura from top to bottom. It's not just like what you look like with the ball. That's where it starts though. Because if you're garbage, if you can't put the ball in the hole, if you can't throw a flashy pass, or if you don't have a game that stands out with the rock, then you could just throw your whole aura ranking out the window. But also for some guys, it's the way you run. For some guys, it's the way you jump. For some guys, it's the way you celebrate. Like all of that has to do with aura. Hey, LeBron got a cool run, like when Bron is doing his trot.
Yeah.
Cool run.
Yeah.
Charisma.
That's what I'm saying. Some guys got cool walks. Steph Curry got funny celebrations, and the way he talks and all of that. That's cool. There's
an Anthony Edwards or tier. There's a Chris Middleton, Sam Cassell tier, and then apparently there's a Kyle Lowry or tier as well.
Wow.
All right.
Now
Swiper's just.
Whoa. You are deranged.
Where were we? I'm sorry, Ron. Where were we?
I'm the one who derailed this conversation.
Hey, Swiper, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and clock out for me, bro.
9-7 till infinity said, "What happened to swag?" To me, swag is aura. Swag goes into the aura.
Shout out to swag.
But yeah, I got a poll running right now. Who has the most aura in the NBA? And you guys are voting Steph right now. He has 44% of the votes. And SGA and Kyrie are also up there as well. You guys let me know. And then also let us know if we're missing out on somebody as well.
Wemby go aura.
Does Joel Embiid not have no aura?
No.
Zero.
Ron, he got a piano on his back, Ron.
You see how he was looking at his teammates and when they was in the
Wemby might be the only big.
He act like a hall monitor.
Yeah, Wemby might be the only big in the NBA with aura.
Like you don't got to partake, but calm down, Joel.
No, this is
That was
chill.
wild.
This whole conversation was Chill's way to honor Wilt Chamberlain. So shout out. I appreciate it.
Wilt had aura for his time.
I was not thinking about Chamberlain, but
He led the era in aura.
Yeah, he
if
led
Chamberlain
the
called me
era
on
in
a
aura.
Saturday night, yes, I'm coming through.
Yeah, Wilt
100%
led
I'm
the
coming
era
through.
in aura. So, you know,
I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere with Will. He the type that he trying to corner the market. He want them all to himself, man.
No, he does not. No, he don't.
No, you know who else
You
did?
can't get him
Chill.
all.
You know who else even self-admitted he did? Magic admitted he did. He cornered every market. He didn't share at all. So
yeah, magic aura. Yeah.
Damn, so he only shared on the court?
I'm trying to hang out with Jordan, a real life degenerate. You know what
Like
I'm saying?
Magic, hey, I'm open. Magic.
As much as Magic passed, is he really?
That's what I'm saying.
bro,
Chill.
Magic had interviews, Chill, where he literally said five at a time in an elevator. Like he's a different dude.
You can't have all of them, yo. You can't.
No wonder he caught that. I mean, what?
He said he was reckless. He admitted. He said he was absolutely reckless.
Yes, 100% Magic was wild.
Football breakdown said chiller fan. Ricky ass Niners, he is Super Bowl frauds. Ricky ass Niners, y'all some Super Bowl frauds. Hey.
For your life. Hey, Brock Purdy ties.
Eat it, hater. Eat it, hater. Eat it.
Biggs said, we're going to act like PG not the biggest playoff dropper. Did we forget when Russ had 40 and he had 4?
Did we forget that Russ also took 93 shots in 2 games? Did we forget that? Are you kidding me? What the hell is going on here? How the hell am I supposed to operate with a dude taking 93 shots? That's 40-something shots a game. How the hell am I supposed to operate on that? How the hell am I supposed to get in a rhythm with that?
If you're that guy, you just stay in rhythm.
Hell no.
Turn on your theme music. What
Where's
song
his
was
aura?
that?
Where's his aura?
That's that Erykah Badu. Turn on your theme music.
Get the hell
Paul
out of
George.
here.
Seen him getting locked up by some Chinese team.
I don't know. I'm with you. I think they're not just going to Super Bowl next year, but they have the talent to. They legit.
What's
wrong with that, Ron?
Long as we don't have to see Kansas City again, I'm out on
Kansas City. No, that's not your issue. That's not your issue.
The Texans. Oh, no,
that's not your issue.
DSG Piccolo said, Swiper mentioning Nurkic in 19 like he didn't miss the whole playoffs.
We clarified that.
The broken leg.
We clarified that earlier.
And as DSG followed up saying, 19 Nurkic was nice before the leg break. He had 20 points, 20 rebounds, 5 by 5. Also, Ramadan Enos separated his shoulder round 1. But my brother Dame got to be better.
Yeah, Jamal Murray choked that.
Yeah, watch Enos out there in the conference finals was bad basketball.
Jamal Murray choked that game away for sure. 4 of 18.
Dame the Great said best starting 5 out of Boston, Knicks, Nets, Sixers, and Miami. 1 player from each team.
It's the Atlantic division.
Okay,
it's the division.
So the Atlantic division.
1 player.
Well, Miami's not in the Atlantic division. They're in the Southeast division.
You get Bam, Joel. I don't want nobody from the Nets.
You have to take something from all right, give me Ben Simmons. We got Ben, we got JT, we got Embiid. Ben, JT, Embiid.
Cam Thomas.
No, because I already got Ben Simmons.
Ben. Yeah. Oh, you already said Ben. I'm sorry.
Then we got Bam. Then we got Bam. And then who's the last team?
The Knicks.
Let me get OG. That's what we're going on with.
I got you right here. I'll put it. So I'm gonna take Claxton from the Nets. So that way I gotta take somebody. So I'm gonna take Claxton.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna take Jimmy. So I won't take Bam because I got Clax.
Buckets.
But then I'm gonna take Joel and Clax. We got
at the 5.
You got
okay. So I got Jimmy at the 3, Clax at the 4, Joel at the 5. Who's my backcourt?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson at the 1.
And Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown at the 2. All right. That's what it is.
Real one's going to see the Ben Simmons resurgence. That my team is going to look so much better when they see Ben Simmons as an all-star next year.
Smooth Tube said, chill. My coworker said MJ wouldn't be able to stay in front of Rob Dillingham. I used to think old heads were tripping. Now my perspective has changed.
Why is
I
it?
mean, Rob be moving. We don't I like
Rob
Rob.
be moving.
Rob be
do be
moving.
skating.
Like,
Rob got aura.
Rob, so let me get this straight.
Rob
What's
got
Rob?
aura,
What is
for
he,
real.
19, 20 years old?
Yeah.
So 19, 20-year-old Rob Dillingham, Jordan can't, a prime Jordan, like 88 Jordan can't stand in front of him. 87 Jordan can't
It's
stand
gonna
in
be
front of him.
hard. It's hard to stay in front of guys like Rob Dillingham.
You know what else is hard, Moss? To score, but people do it. So you're telling me that he couldn't stay in front of him? And he's not referencing Rob Dillingham like he can't stay in front of him. He's referencing it like Rob Dillingham will fry Jordan. That's what he's referencing it. That's why he's saying that. He can't stay in front of him, so he will bust Jordan ass. And that's just not true. Give me a break.
I mean, I think Rob Dillingham
Joe
could
crash
get by
out on
most
Adam
people.
West.
Give me a
He's
break.
saying that too.
You put Rob Dillingham
him.
on an island with most people,
Get
I
him.
think he can get by him. Personally.
Consistently? Can he consistently get by Kawhi Leonard on an island? Consistently?
Define consistently more often than he doesn't?
Yes.
No.
And I'm thinking about Leonard when I'm thinking about 2016 Leonard. That's what I'm thinking about.
More often than he doesn't, no, but I just think he could get by him. Like you go give him 10 straight isolations. I think he could get by Kawhi a couple of times.
So if we're doing that, Adam, then if I want to make sure that I'm understanding.
Good night, Adam.
He is the Steve Francis guy.
Yeah.
So if Rob Dillingham is frying, if he's frying Jordan, he is fricasseeing Steve Francis. Okay, I want to make sure that we clear on that. He put Steve Francis. You know, in Hawaii when they have the pigs, where they roast them. He is roasting Steve.
Yeah,
Francis.
the luau.
Yes, that's what he's doing to Steve Francis. He's putting Steve Francis basically in a cooker and having Steve Francis screaming for his life trying to get out that cooker, and he's not getting out.
He got the apple in his mouth and a pipe.
Jordan's struggling to stay in front of Steve
Damn,
Francis too. It's hard to stay in front of people in the NBA, man.
Yes, we are. Yes, we 100% are.
All right. Speaking of Adam West, he said dub panel, dub Ox Court last night. L low, L ticket, L pin, L let's keep it a buck. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs down. Steve Francis to go. Welcome back, Ron. Still L host.
So for those of
You
y'all
just
out
got
there
cooked.
for those of y'all out there that's listening and the logic that there's a lot of drama going on, yo, we solid as a rock over here. We straight. Just so you guys know, we straight over here. All of that nonsense about, yo, what's going on with this guy? What's going on with that guy? We're a unit over here. And just like family has problems, but we solid over here. We ain't going nowhere. We good.
Yeah, I don't know Adam West guy. I don't know what Adam West got going on. I told him, man, y'all gotta stop that, Adam.
Yeah,
Get it
we
together,
good over
man.
here.
Yeah, the amount of drama I be seeing on my timeline, I'm
Yeah.
getting tired, man. This is
It is corny, Moss. 100% it is. It's corny. Well, I keep hearing my friends hitting me up on my phone. Yo, is PC okay? We good, yo. We are straight. We good out here.
I'm lost as a bat. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Exactly. I was too. We good.
Me too.
Antoine, L host Twan, said Wiz got a underrated young core, specifically Keyshawn.
Keyshawn, yeah. They drafted him out of Miami.
What's
yeah,
Keyshawn
George. I think underrated young core. Yeah, no one really talks about the Wizards, so I guess underrated in that aspect, but not underrated in the fact that I still don't think they're gonna do anything. But underrated in that aspect that no one brings them up. Yeah.
Pimp named Slickback said, Mars, if Ben Simmons takes us out the Coop sweepstakes, y'all will see me on an FBI list next year. Give me your NBA equivalents for Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Nick Bosa, and Daniel Jones.
So be clear, if Ben Simmons gets busy early, he will be dealt. I'm letting you know that now.
He's gonna get a mystery injury. He just won't play no more.
He's getting dealt 100. There's no way that the Brooklyn Nets jump out the box and they get busy early, and now we're gonna ride with Ben Simmons. Nope, he's getting dealt. We starting over, no doubt about that. He is definitely getting moved.
I don't know anything about those NFL players. I know Josh Allen can throw and run, but that's all I know. So.
Josh Allen is Trae Young. That's who he is.
Oh, okay.
That's insane.
Damn.
Josh Allen better.
I think Josh Allen better than that.
That's who Josh Allen is.
Definitely not better than Trae Young. But the reason why I don't like the comparison is because Josh Allen's a big point guard or a big quarterback. So I would like to go with the bigger point guard.
You mean like Luka? Because he's not Luka. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, that's
no.
Josh Giddey in 2 years.
Tyrese Halliburton's a big player.
Well, wait, wouldn't Luka
just
be the
not
only
as good a
person
passer.
that people think going to reach the heights but haven't yet reached those heights? Like, reach the top of the mountain? Could people put Allen in best player in the world conversations?
And then, but to flip that around, though, flip that around, Swipe. But there's times when you look at Josh Allen and think, how is this dude a starting quarterback in the NFL?
No, I don't go that far.
I
just turns the ball over a lot. But Luka turns the ball over a lot, too.
So who's Lamar Jackson, Swipe?
And, well, it was Ja, but Ja's not good enough.
I think it was James Harden.
It's probably Giannis.
I'm not mad at James.
It's probably Giannis.
Yeah.
Damn, he got no skill.
No, he's
they're trying to do that to my man.
Probably James Harden.
No, man, but Lamar made up. I mean, I'm not saying James Harden didn't, but Lamar's made up all the right stuff. It's just a situation, dude. If Zay Flowers doesn't get a taunting penalty and fumble the ball, I think he's in the Super Bowl. So
what about
he's cooking the 49ers too, and I love the
we already seen them come up to the Bay and put a foot down our ass. We already seen that.
No, Lamar's cooking
on Christmas Day. They came,
no chance.
I was like, oh shit! I didn't know they was.
Hey, they were serious last year.
Right.
Man,
they
whole regular season.
Foot down. I was like, damn.
Derrick Henry's Damian Lillard then. Ron.
Derrick Henry?
Damian Lillard, yeah. He got his name on the team. An elite running back.
And who do you think Nick Bosa is?
Nick Bosa in our league, in the NBA?
It got to be a big to play defense.
It's probably like he's a much better version of Ennis Freedom.
I was thinking
the opposite of defense. Oh, okay.
I was thinking he a better version of Sengun.
See, y'all trying to make these comparisons based on skin complexion.
For sure.
I think Nick Bosa was like a band.
Yeah, yes, that's
okay,
cool.
I like
that's
that.
Cool.
Okay.
That's
well,
right.
Ron said someone who played defense. I heard Ennis Freedom and Sengun, so I'm confused. That's like the opposite of what Ron said. So.
Last but not least, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, who somebody got money for Zach LaVine.
I was so wrong on Daniel.
No, Zach LaVine. They got somebody with a big contract for no reason. Got to be $40 million a year for no reason.
I was so wrong.
Ben Simmons.
Hey yo,
Ben Simmons at least got an excuse. Daniel just sucks.
Yeah, I was so wrong on him. Oh my goodness.
But he shouldn't have got that deal in the first place.
I was so wrong on him. I was.
Who's a player that got paid for no reason in the NBA and literally just Jordan Poole?
Nah, because Jordan Poole was actually viable on that championship team, so he did get paid. Like Daniel Jones,
he got
Tobias
paid
Harris.
off
Tobias Harris.
He go Ox with the Tobias Harris logic.
But Daniel Jones got paid off of Saquon's back of having a career year, second best year of his career.
I was so wrong about him.
I don't know why you was high on him in the first place.
According to Penn, K. Cunningham.
He
Chandler Parsons, maybe. Yeah, that's a good one. But at least Chandler had injury issues.
Chandler
Daniel sucks. I really don't mean to disrespect him. I really don't mean to.
No, he does. No,
he's not good, but he's not a good quarterback.
No, no. I was way wrong about him. Way wrong. 100%. I was wrong about him.
Who's wait, hold on. Who's George Kittle, Rob? Mr. Do It All. Mr. Do It Everything. And a perfect player. He's a perfect NFL player.
I'm gonna give him like a 3.
That's
play
good.
all
Tatum,
ball.
is it Tatum maybe like just a perfect player that does everything you want him to do?
No, I think he's more like the Derek White. I think he in that area.
No, he ain't a role player though. He's a star. George Kittle. The only reason he's not considered a GOAT tight end of this era is because he don't have Mahomes. But he does everything. He catches the ball better than everybody else. He's a great route runner. He's an insane blocker. He never stops.
Yes.
He really doesn't do anything. He doesn't not do everything.
I'm not mad at the JT comparison. I'm
saying JT like he might not be
years ago.
He might not be as like in the conversation. Somebody said Kittle might be Anthony Davis. That might be it. But the thing is, Kittle got his motor doesn't stop.
No, he go all day. He does.
I like
he does,
AD, actually. I really
does
like
not
AD.
stop.
He's AD. He's AD with no stop button. No stop button.
I can get with that. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, speaking of a stop button, this isn't necessarily a stop button, but it's more of a transition so you guys can figure out what you're going to eat for lunch. And then we're going to come back and read the rest of these super chats.
No doubt.
See you in a bit.
What up, PC Nation? Warmer, sunnier days are calling. Fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Crush your wellness goals this July with dietitian-approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. Make your day delicious. From breakfast to dessert, stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. Treat yourself to restaurant-quality meals that feature premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and blackened salmon. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well-balanced. Head to factormeals.com/playerschoice50 and use code PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code PlayersChoice50 at factormeals.com/PlayersChoice50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Super chat. Damn, Swiper just he ordering his Factor meals right now. See,
Yeah.
get like Swiper, man. Be like Swiper. I mean, wait to the end of the show. Like, don't just cut out on us like Swiper, but go get your Factor meals and use playerschoice50.com or playerschoice50 as your promo code. And speaking of .com, go to playerschoicemerch.com and get you something from there too. But Antoine L. Host, Ron, said Optimus Dime and Bumble Bill, top 3 duo nicknames.
I've never thought of duo nicknames.
Me neither.
Who was
John Wall?
John Wall was Optimus Dime?
Yes.
Like, that was well known.
I didn't know that neither. That's news to me, Ron.
I mean, it was kind of fitting. John Wall used to
I just thought his name was. I never heard another nickname. I just thought it was John Wall.
Shout out to those two.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Red said, "Yo, Ox, how did Ox Court end last night? I fell asleep."
It's a bunch of crybabies.
Uh-oh.
Reggie Reg.
That's it. That's all.
Hey, Reggie Reg's PC not involved.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Make sure they know that, but you can't help it. People can't separate the two. We're not even talking about nothing PC related, and people can't separate the two. Also, people put that stuff in the title. It's like, I never did that, so I don't know. I can't relate that.
Players' choice drama, players like
like I don't know why people was doing that, but I never did that, so I can't relate. That don't got nothing to do with me.
All right.
Cultured Bandit said, "Ox, last night was a movie. If you know, you know." Dub Ox Court.
Mm-hmm.
Masink OG said, D-Wade clears Paul Pierce in every way. L Ox.
He don't shoot better than Paul Pierce.
I would not stand for that. I'm not gonna argue it right now. We've been there already, but I'm not going for that.
Ox, but you don't think Paul Pierce is better than D-Wade?
I think it's a conversation. I honestly do.
Okay. Julius Irvin said Bucks is better than Celtics, player for player.
I don't know what players he talking about.
Coach for coach, fan for fan, city for city, and as a whole organization.
Coach for coach, I agree.
Facts.
Cap.
Doc don't have cock eyes.
Facts. Doc a champion too.
Facts.
So is Joe Mazzulla, but Doc a champion.
Well,
Doc got more finals appearances.
Julius Irvin said, "Thank you, Mars, for the clarification." I guess
you're welcome, man. You're welcome anytime.
D3 said, "Daily reminder: car racing is a sport." L Ox.
Car driving is not a sport, bro.
Left.
Left.
It's
a dope event. In a good time.
Left.
Mo said Harden has aura. Dub Mars.
Dub aura.
Ox, which way we going? Left.
Left. That's it. Just left.
When in doubt, go left.
That's it. Facts.
Oh, but when Zion go left, he's a superstar. But, you know, cool. Whatever.
Hey, maybe we know in another life, in another era, in another world, universe, Zion was probably an all-star F1 racer. Shout out Zion.
Nah, like he probably was a car.
Smooth Tube said Jamal who? Jamal Sims? Jamal Mixon? Because not Murray.
That was a crazy picture. Wow.
With this?
Wow.
That's probably the face he be making when he be hearing you guys' takes up here.
That's
me
not,
included.
That's not Smooth Tube. There's no way that's him.
Opposite of Smooth. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an amazing show. It's been an amazing run, and we will be back tomorrow. Maybe some different guests. But you know, us four will be here at the same time with even better topics and a better show. We'll catch y'all then.
Merry Christmas.
Later.
Shout out Art too, newest Hall of Famer.
Merry
Shout out Art, newest Hall of Famer.
Send me the link.